Right, legends, you know what time it is. I'm gonna get this shindig set up. Oh, yo. Yo. I'm gonna get this show set up, do some tweets, you know the drill, listen to the beats, enjoy yourself. I'll be there in a minute. Let that one run again, leggies. That's too much of a banger for me. I'm almost ready. We'll get into the charts in a second.
Yo. This is Brick, my friend. Gonna come on in and rock this place for you. We're here tonight to party right. Gonna tell you a thing or two. Well, we ain't J for Jive, we're L for Live. Everybody just get loose. We're gonna stretch you out without a doubt, so you can do
let's kick this bad boy off, legends. Tell me if the sound's working nice. You can hear me crisp and clear. The beats are sounding fresh. Loving that funky ass shit to get me started today, leggies. Let me turn that off. Let's get rid of the old fucking playing that. And guys, I will be joining you right now. Guys, tell me the chat's working good. The video's looking good. Everything's fucking moving, leggies. You can probably see my screen right now. We gonna get into these charts, legends. I'm streaming a lot at the moment. I'm back in the game. I'm trading actively. I'm keeping myself busy in the markets. It's very, very fun. And we're going to talk about the charts, guys. We're going to go through all this. We're going to go through all the statistical data. We're going to go through some altcoins, look at infinite market cap, CBBI. We're going to go through the whole lot. You guys know how these... We'll even look at, again, I do like looking at the watch market at the moment as well. Potentially going to be some good buys coming in that area. The MDX Trading Bot as well. Brand new UI. You know, we actually imported Discord as well, so you can actually... come onto this website and actually look into our Discord groups. Real nice UI, guys, for you guys to get involved. And then we've got our charts coming as well this week. So we have our own trading charts within the portal. And guys, then we've got the big indicators in terms of the updates coming through and the partnerships coming as well. So everything's looking real sexy. It's looking good, leggies. I'm really excited about it. But we'll dive into the charts, guys. And we'll do all the partnership stuff as well going into this. So... last stream we were here. We got the X on the indicators again, legends. It's freaking got the aircon on. We got the X here, guys. So we got this sell signal on the MDX Trading Bot, which would have been a good counter trading opportunity. We've actually changed all of the UI now, so you can actually come and read about this by clicking on these tabs here. So if you're on the website, guys, this is the new tab system. You can click on that and then read about this strategy itself. So, guys, initially, yes, we did get a move off the devil level. But it wasn't enough to keep the bears from keeping control of this. We actually came up into the EMA ribbon. We've moved back down again into the devil level, another bounce, and then the EMA ribbon, essentially, the sellers just kept flooding in on this specific occasion. I said that next area of support is going to be down here, guys. And actually, we did get front run with about, $100 or so from this level into the bands. So devil level, couple of opportunities there, not that aggressive to the upside. I was looking for something more like this, and that's what we could be getting now, but we'll get into that in a second. And we came down to the local support beneath it, and we've actually bounced off that now with some sort of ascending formation on the lower time frames, guys, which is promising, but we do need to get above devil level because the devil level has been essentially the market fucking inflection point for multiple weeks or months. So we want to get above devil level. If we do hold above it and get above this level here, I'll go into the lower time frames in a second. I do see potentially a move back up to where I was saying last stream, there might be a nice Lord Dumpu short in here. You get a nice move up in price. If we get a buy signal on the MDX Trading Bot, EMA ribbon coming through, we could see quite a nice little trade here, guys, in terms of scalp back down. But then if we hold the dev lev there, then I think it's very likely actually this is going to continue, and we're just going to essentially have the springboard for the next leg up for Bitcoin. But we're not above dev lev yet. There's a lot of volatility, guys, a lot of dudes in there, and the freaking dudes and chicks, more dudes than chicks. But there's a lot of volatility around this level. You can see, there's a lot of opportunity, guys, with the indicators on the lower time frames. Obviously, we know that you can use these indicators to scalp with the MDX indicators. But, this is extremely, let's just say, the Bitcoin traders ain't got a fucking clue. Essentially, this is indecision around this level. We've got a lot of buying and selling in terms of erratic. There's a lot of market smashing happening as well. If you go on the website, you click on dashboard. This here, if you put this to like 1K, for instance, like you can see what people are doing on the order books, and there's a lot of fucking market smashing going on. When this is like a very affluent in terms of trades, it's essentially you're seeing a non-sophisticated trader taking lots of positions in and out on market orders, and this is been at this point right now, it's actually very slow compared to what it was the last couple of seconds. Like maybe a fucking hour ago, it's just absolutely blasting off with orders coming in. But I like to have it set to higher position orders, just so you can actually look at what's going on. So if you come on the website, guys, to the dashboard, you can actually set this to 100K orders. And then you'll only see trades over $100,000 of market orders. And then you know that there's essentially volatility with the... we have an alert system on this as well. I'll put it back on the trading bot at this point, actually. The new UI. So lots of erratic behavior, guys. We are trying to get above the devil level right now. We do have a few high lows coming into this. You can scout this for days, obviously. But I would say if you get a decisive move above it, we're looking for this level here, guys, to get above. It's the swing high of the whole move. We're looking in here, guys. If we can get up into that, hold the devil level, get above it, I do think it's going to be a pretty quick move to here. This will likely be, we'll have some confluence with the volume delta as well. Let me just clean up the chart a second. So let's just say the fib is the target if we do get above devlev. There could be a nice trade to the upside here, guys. I actually won't take this long for this specific one. I've already taken a couple of longs on this, and the devil level is I've got into some good trades, but all of them have been essentially taken out at break even because I've been trying to get on the devil level up. But if you look at the volume delta, it'll probably, yeah, exactly. So the sell orders are likely going to be coming in around here. You actually have quite a lot actually laddered up, and the buy is beneath us. So the node, in terms of point of control, this big yellow line, I actually will probably change the color of that just to make it a little bit more simple for you guys to see. I'll probably do it. What did I used to have? I used to have it in red, didn't I? But red's a little bit like, you know, going to create some sort of subjective bias in people's minds. You know, you could have it as red, but, you know, I'll do it like a light blue or something. I'll probably do it the standard light blue. So point of control's in here, guys, which is, again, you know, we know that the market likes to follow the node. So you have a lot of sell pressure coming in here, guys, and the buy volume is now actually pretty much underneath it. So if you see it come back, you want to be buying into these liquidity pockets. And obviously on the upside, actually a lot of resistance in terms of just genuine orders above us right now. So I would say if we do come up, I would be looking for something back down. Doesn't mean it has to happen, but I'd say between the Fibonacci 618 and 786, there could potentially be a nice short position, especially if we get a buy signal. You guys understand the counter trading strategy. Go to advanced strategy and read about it here. This would potentially be a nice short trade as well coming back in. Doesn't mean we have to break the low and go fucking to Nuketown. I'm just saying there could be a nice scalp back down for then potentially continuation if we do hold the dev lev. And the devil level ain't looking bad, legends. Have a look at price GBT as well. Obviously, price GBT is saying we're going to go lower on this. Actually, there's only one example of holding above it. So what this is doing is saying the trend is basically still down. We haven't broken above this level. So price GBT, but if you're not above this level, it's always going to predict lower prices because we haven't broken any systemic structure. As soon as we get above that, this will become the more probable version. But obviously, it uses machine learning and goes back 5,000 candles. So obviously, it has to just, you know, if it's been range bound for a year, it's going to predict that it's going to be range bound for another year because there's nothing to go by. So that's what Price GBT is saying. And Scalp Pro, we have the levels coming in pretty nicely as well. Top side of the range coming up in here, bang on the 618 retracement level. So there's a few good opportunities here, guys, and actually some nice little scalp longs on these levels here as well on Scalp Pro. So all the indicators coming together quite nicely here, guys. You can flick them on and off your chart. Most of you guys watching this will be in the VIP. So yeah, guys, what we're really waiting for is if we hold DevLev, are we going to come into this? You know, there is a buy potentially at a retest trade on DevLev. I've already got into a few trades. Most of them, like I said, all of them have been stopped out of break even. We had a few nice moves, but we've come down to this support. If we can hold the ascending formation, which we're trying to carve out now, I do think it's a pop-up. And then looking at the volume delta, it's probably going to come back down again if we can hold devil level. So it's essentially wishy-washy sideways, but staggered to an uptrending market because essentially, if we're above the fucking devil level, legends, you know, there's nothing on the higher time frame stating right now that this is actually looking at all bearish in any way. If we're above devil level, yes, if we come to here, then we break down, then yes, we could be looking at creating a downtrend. But ultimately, you know, there is not too much on this chart. The one thing which I would say was showing slight weakness in terms of one parameter is that usually markets like to find support on their previous high price. That's the stair ladder. The stair ladder up is essentially the bulls taking the stairs, and usually the area where they find the most support is actually on their prior high. So on this specific occasion, you actually don't have that. You actually have it coming below its prior high, which can identify potentially a crocodile ranger going into, or it could be just stating a little bit of weakness because the bulls didn't really manage to make it into a significant high. And then if you get a significant lower high here, then you actually can see a change of essentially behavior here, because if then you can't get above the high, essentially the consistency factor is gone. You haven't managed to continuously make higher highs and higher lows, and then potentially this is the level to hold now. Actually, the devil level would be less significant. It'd actually be between here and here when we come up to this level. And if we don't even come up and we just continue down, then great. Guys, we're looking at lower prices for bounce trades, and this could be a nice short coming down. I wouldn't even say short it on the devil level. This is a buy for me if you hold DevLev, but I'd say if you do get into this pocket, that would be covering the potential chance of a short coming in, because like I said, you want to play chess and poker at the same time with statistical back-tested analysis data. You need data to say, okay, what is the probability of this? And we have all the data on mdxalgo.com for that specific strategy. But when it comes to the indicators, we actually have the built-in back-tested data here. So you can see this is a 3-star rating. It's probably really small on your screen. I won't make it big because it gets in the way of the charts. But right now, guys, taking the buy and sell signals, you do see here that you have around 9.7% win rate. Sorry, profitability. Win rate is lower. And then the win rate doesn't matter, actually, to be honest. It's just about profitability. And then the last 10 trades, if you had taken these buy and sell signals on our indicator suite, mdxalgo.com, you know it, you would be up 9.7%. And that's going by coming out at the X's. Coming out at the X's. Sounds very, very strange. That's, this is in terms of taking profit on the reversal signature X's, okay? So, yeah, we're at the devil level. like I said in the title, Bitcoin ain't got a clue. It's kind of wishy-washy here. Lots of indecision. You know, in terms of my hunch, I would say the probability is that we do probably get some sort of pop-up higher if we're above devil level. But if we lose dev lev and we do something like that and we lose this low, then it's just looking for shorts the whole way down, guys. And I do think we're probably going to get something here. Let me just turn on auto charting tools so we can see exactly what's going on with Z. Where is my auto charting tools? My auto charting tools isn't even on right now. Let me turn on auto charting tools a second. This is one of my favorite Z indicators. Probably the one I use the most, actually. But I was just doing I was doing a nice little demo call with some potential partners earlier. So I've deleted it off the chart. But you can see here, guys, it's going to pop up auto charting tools. I actually probably want to put this to the front just because of the aesthetical value. So put it to the front. Actually, I'll put the bot in front of it. You're watching me do my process. So let's turn on auto charting tools, guys. Actually, it's still saved all the settings on there. No, it hasn't. So let me get rid of a few things and just clean up my charts, guys. Get rid of that fucker. So auto charting tools is essentially what it says on the tin. It automatically charts on any ticker on TradingView. Let me just show you what my settings would be. So I put everything to 10% to make it so it's not as visually mental. I do like a white line every now and again on the chart to really state what's going on. But for me, I like having the daily opens, the weeklies, and the closes, etc., and the monthly levels. The pivot plays are really good as well. Let me just get this down for you, leggies. And then I put supply and demand on, and I put it at this color. Okay, so my supply and demand is on like kind of a turquoisey blue color. I actually go for a little bit of a darker blue on this specific stream, and I actually put it to 10% as well, just so it's there in the background in confluence with other stuff. All right, so let me whip all that on, sires, and we'll see where the levels come in. Okay, so we'll wait for it to load. So yeah, guys, you can see here, as I was saying, these levels are important. I actually probably need to make it a little bit more clear. Maybe you can't see 10%, but you see these blue zones. Really nice area here, guys. If we do come down to it, I'll be looking for a buy. In here as well, it's actually going back significant SR from a long time ago. But I would say any blue zone is looking pretty good on the lower time frames. And if you zip out as well onto your 4-hour, your dailies, your 12 hours, etc., you're going to get essentially a bigger pocket of liquidity you could look at from the auto charting tools. It's going to be taking, and like that's like, again, it's nice to see that 4-hour is really stating that this is a very important area of support. And without the indicator, obviously you can see that as well because the price has moved up when it came down to it twice. Okay, so that's how you can kind of visually get it. Down here as well, that will be some nice stuff. But overall, leggies, you know, it's kind of the same as I said yesterday. Or was it yesterday? I can't remember. I don't know if I streamed yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day before. It really is just playing the levels. The whole thing about Bitcoin is it's in this kind of crocodile in and out range. The trend is beginning to slow down in terms of we haven't managed to get above this high, and we could potentially be looking at a lower high and then maybe a lower low, and that will actually be changing the shift here. I wouldn't say that that's actually highest probability right now. I'd say the highest probability is probably to come up, and I will be looking for some stuff in terms of short positions up here. And let me get the exact prices for you guys. It's going to be between 68.3 and 69. Devil level 6666666. Support below us is around 64, 63.8. Okay, so support in the middle, resistance. Those are the levels I'm looking at. If we do come up to the high again, you can see a blue zone there, so that could be another interesting short. But ultimately, guys, in terms of analyzing the market and not trading it, we're still kind of uptrending. The whole market is up. It's, you know, we haven't really done anything which is stating to me that there's a significant fucking thing warning for the bulls. The only thing you could say is that this is going sideways for a prolonged period of time. We do have some lower lows and we do have some lower highs. But before we come down, at least break 61, I'm saying this is potentially here and then up, you know. So I wouldn't call saying, oh my God, guys, we made a lower low on the fucking daily. It's over. No. We're still above DevLev. We got 61 support, and obviously that coincides nicely with 64 coming in. So I'd say this: 64 is a buy, 61 is a buy. Down at 52, we already spoke about that on the prior streams. I do think that 52. You know, I was saying it before when we were up here. I was saying, look, this will be the first area of support. We actually came down to it pretty much perfectly, except maybe $1,000 off. It was 50. It went to 53, not 52. And it's going to get more like that, guys, because when we get to 100k Bitcoin, 1% move is $1,000. So it's going to get nuts. It's going to have to be 5k fucking... We're going to have to say, like, within this range of $5,000 is where the SR is. Because pinpointing 1% of where it's going to go is going to get more and more tricky. So I'd say, yeah, you know, the trades are this, just to reiterate. I do think if we hold above devil level and get a retest of it above this, like something like that, there would be a few little scalps here in terms of getting into a long. I'm going to be looking for shorts. I'm going to be looking at my parameters of my bot. You know, the bot's had some pretty fucking decent trades, okay? Had a massive winning trade. This was hardly you know, this was hardly a loser. This was basically break even. So if this becomes a losing trade and you get a buy here, so the sold and then it buys, I think the probability is that we're going to get, you know, a really nice fucking counter trade here, guys. And just come to advanced strategy and read about this, because you can counter trade. What is that? I got something itching on my back, legends. It's yeah, there's going to be a really good opportunity, guys, soon with the MDX Trading Bot to take a very high conviction, high probability trade. The next buy signal here will be about, you know, flat 62% chance of, if you counter trade it, you're going to go into a winning trade. Couple that with potentially lower lows and not above this, and then, you know, bring in the EMA ribbon, etc., and then looking at some other stuff in terms of, are we actually going to be looking at, you know, a fast move here? Because you remember I said on the prior stream, it's about the posture. The posture of the market is extremely important as well. If we do it in one very quick candle, probability goes up of coming back down. If we want to do this and then, you know, it's really slow and then we do that, then it's probably going to, you know, we'll have some sort of aggressive parabola. So you've got to keep an eye on the patterns as well. So that's that for Bitcoin, guys. Really can't go much through, much more to go through. But in terms of heat map, look, it's a genuinely a very positive day for the stock market as well. I was saying on the prior stream that I do think we're going to get some sort of bounce off that region. And that's kind of like, you know, I don't have to say much, guys. It's done exactly what we thought. You know, we have got, though, you know, like I said, in here, potential short trade. You know, we did lose this region here on SPX. So this is obviously traditional stock market stuff, guys, I'm talking about. You know, so if you just be, you know, completely clear, if it's rallying and then always holding its prior high, always holding its prior high, always holding its prior high, like there, for instance, it just means that the posture of the market is better. You know, it's hold its prior high. But losing this, you can see actually was a nice short trade if you did a fib. It's actually lost this area here. So we have come lower than it. So I would say the probability of coming into this and then looking for a short back down, regardless if it breaks the low, there could be a nice short trade here for a scalp. Obviously, if you own stocks and shares in the S&P 500, I wouldn't look to fade this constantly and sell all of your fucking spot stocks and shares. That's not what I'm trying to say. The market's generally going to rise due to, you know, there being a massive liquidity in terms of the amount of US dollars being printed over time. It will rise in price. The value is a different story, but you look at inflation adjusted charts for that. So I would say that probably is quite a nice trade in here, guys. Actually, on the short side, for a scalp back down, doesn't mean it has to come and lose the lows, but I could see something quite nice here in terms of popping back. You might be able to squeeze out 1 or 2% of this. Let's just see if it comes back to around 2%. And if you did say, let's just say it went to here and then it came back down, you're looking at that the other way around. So let's just say it came up and you're looking at a Fibonacci retracement. What you're really looking for, actually, one second. So it comes to here, it will be the price action stops. Then what you're really looking for is it going to come down to 618. That will be where you're looking to TP. So in fucking hell, legends, don't put text on the chart, guys. Come on. TTV. No. Wait, my chart's literally, there we go. And yeah, something like that. Back into here and then continue up higher, okay? So you can use your fibs on that. Fibs are going to play out very, very nicely on traditional SPX. We are coming into the bands now, but you can see that the band is actually starting here. So it's another confluent factor in terms of saying you come into this, you get an X, you're in the bands, potentially at resistance here with the blue zone on the auto charting tools. There could be a nice short, guys, on SPX here. And I was already calling that potentially this is going to come back anyway. But we'll see. It's a pretty big gap. You know, this is the region it needs to get above. So if you are you're in the bull camp, you know, what you're really looking for is this to go like that very quickly and then come back and find that area of support. All the shorts then who get in here, it's a logical SR trade, but if it did just blow through, all those shorts will act as fuel to go higher, and then there could be a trade on the other side. So the SR level really, guys, is coming at let me get the exact price for you in terms of points on the SPX. We're looking around, well, I'm looking at fucking SPX, so it's not going to be points in terms of that side. 5,566 between 5,000 to 582. That would be nice on SPX. Obviously, if you're looking at, this is obviously an indices, so if you're looking at the SP 500 in a different light, then you're going to have a different read, okay? So, interesting on SPX. I won't go into fucking all of these goddamn stocks and shares right now. I will talk about some altcoins because I already kind of went through these. You guys already know my trade on Meta. You already know my trade on a few other things. Google as well. It's just absolutely been fucking booming in terms of, yeah, really nice uptrend here, okay? Everything's looking great. Bitcoin is the ultimate key, though, when it comes to the crypto market. But I'm not going to dive, like, you know, into the shitties, guys. Like, I know you're going to, in the chat, blast all your shitties on at me. I'm just going to do some of the high caps. Look, they really are following Bitcoin in a lot of regards. Like, I had a guy asking me send me a message like, what do you think about Ethereum? You know, like fucking ETH. Like, is it going to decouple and become like the fucking this and that? And I was like, look, okay, because he was talking about ETFs. The ETF is a promising factor for ETH, but it was a buy the rumor, sell the news. Nothing happened because we've already had the moment with Bitcoin. ETH is going to do its thing, and ETH will have its own price trajectory in the future, but not yet. It's still correlated to a high degree. The trade that I think is a bit more interesting is probably the Solana trade. You know, there is some talks about, you know, Solana having an ETF, and I do think looking at the market cap of Solana in comparison to Ethereum, I'm going to see what the change of it is at the moment. So ETH, we're looking at around, you know, we're looking at $400 million market cap, so it's a beast. And then Solana, it's around 83, okay? So, you know, ETH is 4 times the fucking size. And it's got an ETF now, and Bitcoin's got an ETF now. Solana having an ETF is pretty significant because it's, you know, it's a smaller market cap. It's only $83 million. You know, gold was a much higher market cap when it got its ETF in the 70s. Sorry, a little bit later than that actually. 70s were the gold standard. And yeah, I do think it's quite an interesting trade. You know, I'm not day trading Solana. I know a lot of guys are interested in Solana. I think Solana's utility is the meme coin shitties factory. Ethereum is the shitcoin factory. Solana is the meme coin shitties. Shitcoins and shitties are 2 different things. Shitties are like the shittiest and the smelliest. The shitcoins are like actually can be good. Like I would say that Ethereum is a shitcoin factory, and I would say anything built on ETH is a shitcoin from the factory. But Solana is like the meme coin shitties factory, which is like the ultimate level of degen, even though it is fun. So yeah, it's a pretty decent narrative here. Obviously, like, you know, Solana, from my perspective, has been, I bought Solana on the FTX collapse, so I haven't really been trading it. I've just been rolling with the essentially this year as an investment. So I'm an investor in Solana, not a trader of Solana. A lot of you guys might be different. What is going on there? People messaging me. Yeah, a lot of you guys might be different. You might be day trading it. Tell me in the chat, are you day trading Solana? Because I've got a lot of questions recently with this move about Solana. I have a long-term investment in it. I actually got into Solana very, very early, let the run happen. I actually sold it quite early in the last cycle. I sold it way too early than I should have. I let Matic run way further than my Solana trade. I think I got in at Solana at something ridiculous, like $8 back in the day, and then sold out at like 70 or something. Still a great trade, but I just, you know, it could have been a lot more. So I'm back in Solana now after FTX with a significant amount, to be honest. I just invested in it. And with an investment, it's a spot buy. So I am in the camp. I do want Solana to be good. Okay, I want Solana to go up in price. But I don't really care about the fundamentals of Solana, okay? I just want to make that. You guys already know that. I don't care about the fundamentals of Solana. I don't actually think Solana is that good fundamentally. I think what it offers is good, but I don't think the fundamentals of what it is are good. I think it's actually pretty insecure and pretty fucking centralized and not really crypto-y. It's not the cryptography side of it and actually being secure is not really there. That's why Ethereum has better fundamentals. But will ETH grow as much as Sol? You know, it's debatable because obviously ETH's starting at 400 mil, Solana's at 80. And it's also had a fucking massive move, so coming from the lows. But anyway, my point is this. There is obviously a lot of excitement about this. We do have some sort of sideways pennant formation. And there is really nothing here, guys, you know, telling me that Solana is over. You know, if Bitcoin does want to sneeze and come back lower, potentially to its range low around here. So if say everyone who's drawing these fucking, if that happens, if Bitcoin does that, Solana is gonna follow suit, okay? It's not decoupled or anything like this and all these people are saying. It will likely come down to next logical support. But having said that, you know, it's a pretty decent chart from what I'm looking at right now. You know, you've managed to get back above the high. Well, almost. You managed to at least retest this high, okay? First, good sign. You've got above local in terms of local highs. You're above the trend, which was carved out by these 3 points. Again, you know, I'm not a massive trend line trader, but I'm saying it bodes well. And it has a lot of support beneath it. You know, you've got levels which it has to now come and retest. It's actually retesting this now. Could get a bounce quite happily. Could easily get a bounce. And I think very likely we'll get a bounce here. If it wants to come down to frickin', what's the price of that? If it comes down to $130 into $123, this is going to be a very nice place to look for a trade. Okay, so I'm jumping all around the place. Long-term investing, it's still hodl Solana. In terms of lower time trading, okay, there are some nice scalp trades to the upside here, okay? And I think $123 in here, vaguely speaking, would be nice. The bands are coming up a little bit. You have a blue zone here on the auto charting tools. And in here, I would say that's probably looking quite good. As of right now on the daily time frame, this is not broken any structure above the EMA ribbons. Obviously, when you turn those off, you won't see that, but the EMA ribbons are essentially showing you if it's above it, it's pretty decent in terms of upside. And I'd say that this level here is come to already once. Let me get on a lower time frame on this. You know, you've been seeing a little bit of wiggling and waggling around it, okay? And at the moment, it is holding it. So what you're waiting for Solana to continue this uptrend, you know, you can draw your trend lines, whatever. So, you know, for you guys out there, you're probably going to be drawing a trend line like this. You've probably got something like that, whatever. You know, if it can continue to hold above trend, hold this level, you're looking for, is the ascending formation going to continue? And then is Solana going to go up? In terms of the warning flags for the bulls, and in terms of what the shorts will look like, if you're actually in the bias of the short side, you know, this is where you're looking to short. Coming up into this, are you looking for a short, low or high? If it then breaks there, you can actually see quite, you know, I'm not going to fucking say it's a head and shoulders because it's a meme in crypto. But, you know, this level here is pretty important. I would say actually we've got support beneath it. And this level here, actually looking around $175, is pretty significant high here. It's the lower high from the significant swing high. And if you lose that, this is the resistance pocket up here. If you lose this, it's kind of then you're beginning to say, okay, look, now we're going to trend back down. And you can see all the levels beneath us, guys. It's going to be probably coming down to around 154, and then into the buy zone, I'd say 121. I'd actually look to buy Solana 121 on a bounce trade in terms of a scalp. If it comes into this again, I'd look to buy that. There might be some stuff on the way down on lower time frames, but for me, I like playing the swing trades in terms of getting in, letting that run. If it does hold this, it will probably likely just continue, and that will be it. You know, this is, yeah, it's quite similar to, it's actually more bullish than Bitcoin because it's began to hit this, but anywhere it finds support from here to here on Sol, it's going to act as a very, very decent spring. And it could even end up coiling round to a parabola because you do find these type of S-bends, they can get pretty fucking aggressive to the upside. These S-bend parabola style formations on higher time frames, I've seen them do insane stuff. Obviously, we all saw it happen in 2019 with Bitcoin and going to 2020. You know, that was a big fucking S-curve. It ended up in a parabola. So yeah, with Sol, there's a few opportunities here. There are obviously Fibonacci at the top. You know, you could look for a short coming back down just in case Bitcoin sneezes. But ultimately, it's done the most bullish thing it can do out of this pennant, above trend, above some of the local support regions. All it's really got to do now is get above this level, and then you could see this really begin to career to the upside. I actually think that Solana, if Bitcoin holds up devil level and begins to move, Solana will probably have a very aggressive move. And then the ETF will probably create some sort of, I'm not saying it's directional, but I'm saying it will create some sort of volatility and interest. And then if Solana does, you know, get an ETF, it's not a short-term factor, but it will mean that a significant amount of supply will be bought up by institutions. That supply will not move. Solana's not that liquid anyway. Well, you know, having said that, you get a lot of fucking degens out there. So I'd say, yeah, it will lock up a lot of supply, and then you could see a Solana having an aggressive move to the upside this cycle, Leggies. And because of the meme coin craze and the shit, it's the shitty factory. It's almost like a go-to for the shitties now. Almost Ethereum's not really that. Ethereum's actually like value goes on Ethereum, which sounds mental because all the shit coins which are based on ETH. But it's almost like people look to Ethereum for low throughput and more value-orientated stuff. And then Solana now is kind of the thing you just put your shitty on, your gaming token, your thing which doesn't really mean anything, or it's not an enterprise solution or an enterprise. It doesn't need enterprise-grade security on it. You just whack it on Sol. ETH is a little bit higher grade now. And I think the gold standard, or the BTC orange standard, will end up being BRC20 at some point when the technology gets better. With runes, etc., I think a lot of companies in the future will use BRC20s to secure that token. Whether they use it to do transaction with, that's another story. I'm just saying that it will be a BRC20, and then there'll be a scalable solution on top of it with essentially channels, lightning, etc. And that would be very, very big for the ordinal space. And that's why I have some investments in ordinals to see if that plays out. But yeah, Sol, I wanted to go into that because I've had a lot of guys asking me about Sol. Sol's actually had a pretty decent move in comparison to some other altcoins, like Near Protocol not doing anything like that. You know, this is looking on the verge of losing levels. Solana is not looking like that. It's beginning to try and gain levels. And stuff like Near Protocol, I won't even bother with XRP. We've done that a billion times. Let's have a look at some, like, let's say DOT, for instance, losing levels. It's a similar thing to Solana. That's what I expect in terms of what it is fundamentally. Link, again, it's, you know, this isn't great. You know, Link's in a downtrend. Whether it goes into the buy zone I want it to go into, that remains to be seen. I have a lot of orders staggered in this range, which will be such a nice buy, guys. If it flicks into that, yeah, this is a nice long-term investment for me. Again, I have a long-term investment in Link. In terms of day trading, whatever, you can scalp it. You're just going to get a more volatile market than Bitcoin. But I would say that if we do come into this, that's a really nice buy, and it's an asymmetric trade for, in my opinion, for a market, a blue chip of this level. And I do like, again, like I said, I invested in it. I do like the fundamentals of Link. I do like what they're building, and I do like their team. I like everything about them. The amount of exchanges they're on, the liquidity, the team, the product, the vision. I like it. I even like the fucking name. I just like Chainlink. It just means something to me. It's just like, that's a blockchain thing. Really deep analysis. I like the name. I buy. So again, look, there's a lot of debate around BNB in terms of what the market makers are up to, and a lot of guys say like, oh yeah, this exchange is a scam for wash trading. Okay, look at BNB with Binance. But anyway, it's again, I have a lot of Binance. I do think, again, long-term investment proposition. On the charts, though, this is a cause for concern for sure. This level here, Leggies, if it loses it, you can see that the auto charting tools has got that big blue zone. Draw a couple of lines where the wicks are. It's not going to stop until here if it wants to break down. So it's going to be a Burj Khalifa style thing if it loses. It'll probably come down again, another lower high. This is if, it will just be a quick move down. And the volume profile will quite likely probably actually state that. So you can see, this is what I'm trying to articulate by drawing a yellow line. But you can see that all of the volume of the trading action is happening up here. It's actually on the node now. But you can see that nothing really kicks off. It's very, very thin, guys. There's actually nothing even there. So it's very thin, the order book's till actually there. And then it begins to bolster a bit. So, this is a situation where you would say if it does lose support, it's a quick move down. And that's why it's a good actually place to buy. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but if you look at these wicks here, it's a good trade for the buy side because logically your stop loss where it's going to go. And if it does get stopped, guess what? It moves quickly anyway. You could even flip and then you could wait for the next bounce. So it's actually a pretty decent trade on BNB here. But yeah, in terms of the node, if we want to see this continue, it's got to really move up to around here. And then you've got to see stuff like holding support above here. You can then draw some sort of trend line. But at this point, there's nothing as a trader you can look at and say, this is now, going to turn around or go up. It's just, you're at the node, you're in the middle. All you could really say is that, generally speaking, the trend is up with this whole move. So I'd say that, default, you're like, proven till, up until proven otherwise. But I'd say BNB's got, it was similar to here, if BNB lost this level, it seems to do the same thing over and over again, BNB. It's got the line in the sand, and it goes to that line, and then the fucking market makers and Binance come in. But I would say, if it lost this support, you're not going to get anything, guys. It's just going to go straight down. There's just nothing in the order book. So it's like, sometimes you see these altcoins, like these shitties, right? They'll do 5,000%. And literally somebody would have bought $5 or sometimes $500 worth of the token. And because there's just nothing in the order book, it's not like now the market cap is 5 billion or what do they go to? Like sometimes the market cap will go to 5 million. The reason it's moved so quickly is that there's nothing in the order book. They're buying $500 worth, and that's filling everything up. And if it's only on Uniswap or some stupid little exchange like fucking whatever MEXC, that's why a lot of these guys get wrecked in altcoin trading because they're looking at all these numbers on freaking the coin list. Like even on this, if you go to the coins here and you turn it to like 7-day change, like these things, dude, it's got $15,000 volume. Okay, so this has probably made this number happen by $100. Just zip. And then everyone's on this chart like, oh yeah, but mate, if I had got that, I would have been a fucking quadrillionaire. It's like, look, mate, you can chase these numbers as much as you want. The problem is there's no volume. So if it goes up, when you then want to go and sell your 2 million quadrillion% up coin, there's only $500 on the sell side. It goes all the way back down where it fucking started again. So you couldn't even exit. The liquidity is not there to exit. So a lot of these coins, they go up in big percentages. Everyone gets excited. But when you go to sell, the price drops 90% because there's just nothing in the books for you to sell to. No one's stupid enough to buy. Anyway, I think most of you guys already know that. In terms of exchanges as well, like what you really want to be looking for with coins on this, and I've set it to volume, is you want to look at where the volume's coming in. the most volume, and you want to track those coins. A lot of it's going to be stable coins on the top side at the moment because Bitcoin's going flat or down. So you want to track where the volume's going in. If you want to play around with some 300 millers, then fine. But track where the volume is. That's when you can actually get in and out. That's where the fun is made. That's where the trading happens. You need volume. You need players. You can't play a football game with one on each side. You can, but it's just ridiculous. So every time that someone gets the ball, you're just going to score. So what you want to do is have it so you have a good team on either side. You can buy and sell into those different order blocks and have volume as well as, you can play some smaller cap coins. But I'd say anything below like 200 mil volume, if it's 100 million market cap and it's doing 50K a day, is have fun because you're not going to be able to get in and out. How much can you make? You can only make 50K in one day anyway. And also that's going to move the price too much. And also it's going to be so volatile because someone could come in and just buy 50K and then you're wrecked of whatever you're doing. So you want to look for, firstly, the volume, and then you want to look for which exchanges to use. Obviously, you could come on exchanges. We recommend these ones with the trade feature, and we've just tried to put the ones which actually mean something because a lot of exchanges, guys, they'll just do huge amounts of wash trading, or they'll be buying and selling with their own market makers to essentially look like the numbers on their volume on the order books are higher than they are. And there was at one point in crypto where like 80% of trading volume was wash trading from exchanges, and BitMEX was a big part of that. I think it even went up to like 85%. Some analysis came out from some guy who was a TradFi dude. I can't remember his name. It was years ago. It was like 2019, maybe even earlier. And a big study came out, big report looking at the exchanges, and it was like 80% wash trading. I was just like, bruv. Back in those days, things were different. Everyone's like, oh, now different. It was in terms of the order books. They were so fucking bullshit. But that's fine. It's like an altcoin. It's always gonna. It's like fucking meme coins gonna have worse order books than Bitcoin, obviously. But yeah, so these are the exchanges we kind of, from MDX Algo's side, we promote. And then, So in terms of back to the freaking Charterunientes, ledges, Crypto.com has been a little bit lackluster. I think it's because right now the market isn't really sucking in new people. I think what we're doing is we're kind of umming and ahhing between each other. Actually, to be honest, having said that, the Bitcoin conference was a big thing. But we haven't got to like your fucking cab driver and your mum, your dog, and your dog turns around and starts talking about Bitcoin. Like, what the fuck? How do you know about that? Like, that's not happening just yet, okay? So I think Crypto.com, because of my investment in it, I think Crypto.com will have a much better price action, or let's just say increase in price when the market is bringing in lots of new customers in terms of people using products within crypto. Right now, a lot of the dudes in crypto were either just buying, selling, trading, and looking for meme coins to fucking buy. Most of us, anyway. Not me, but most of you leggies. Meme coins and fucking shit coins. So Crypto.com doesn't really have the environment, it needs. Bitcoin has a great time when it's price action orientated and you have big fucking, Federal Reserve is printing lots of money. The narrative goes back to the gold, the Bitcoins, the silvers, and that's a good environment for it in terms of the context of the market. But, I think I just have a long-term investment in CRO, and I do think it will do well in terms of customer base. If they got lots of customers, they're going to buy the token because they need it for the fucking card or whatever it is. But the indicators on this have been very nice. This is a really nice area down here. If you turn on, look at that. So you had some very nice trades to be placed. I don't know how many of you guys trade CRO. I don't. I just invest in it. But this was a nice trade down here with that buy signal. This is a very crucial area as well. I did say on a few prior streams that there would be a buy trade, a bounce trade to be placed here. That's literally exactly what you've got. And this is probably going to be a decent percentage move. It could even be like 10%. That's actually a what? This is what I'm talking about. This is a 28% move. So, like, it might look insignificant, but that's a 28% move, legends. Like, and I was saying on stream that this would be a good place to look for a bounce trade. 28 fucking percent. All you need to do is put $100,000 long. You get 28K. So it's pretty decent. And it's the line in the sand for CRO. I don't want to say unfortunately, because actually, if it went lower, in my specific trading strategy with CRO, I wouldn't mind that because I would look to accumulate some more tokens because I do think it's got long-term potential. But, for anyone who's, wants the price to rise right now, unfortunately, I think there's not really much in terms of holding it up until coming to the lows. Yes, you could talk about these highs, but these have already really, that was the level there. There's not much. You're probably going to have some sort of wick. So say we come into it again, another lower high, could even do it in one go. It's likely going to do something which is, something like that, quite significantly lower. the thing about crypto.com, it's not really traded on that many big exchanges. They don't trade on Binance because obviously they're big competitors with Binance. So, you know, crypto.com isn't really one of those ones you can like be quick in and out of. It's just more of an investment. But we do have a lot of red here coming in, guys. We're beneath this pocket. Obviously, this is where you're looking for coming up, potentially reversing here as well. But, you know, if it gets above, you know, ascending formation, it's probably going to do something like that, you know. Keeping the liquidity pockets. And again, that is coinciding with the 0.5. And obviously, we'll put the indicators on as well. You might see the bands rise. But the indicators have smashed this, guys. Like, this is a 5-star rated, back-tested indicator strategy. So, you know, having said all this trading stuff, you didn't need to fucking trade. You just needed... Well, if you wanted to trade, you could have traded with this. Because this has got a 5-star back-tested rating for this indicator. And you can see that you're looking at like 70% profitability by just taking the buy and sell signal. So you could trade it like that. But I would say it would be spot buying and selling. And going on derivatives with this would just be a little bit too hecky, in my opinion. You know, 28% move, and it looks like that. You don't need leverage, legends. You do not need it. And if you do have it, it's almost just like, yeah, it's like trading. It's like giving an alcoholic fucking alcohol, and then, you know, we get leverage is like giving him fucking ouzo. It's like, yeah, you don't need it. Like, just drink your fucking beer and chill. You don't need the ouzo. So, yeah, this is kind of there, leggies. I would say if it holds this support, there'll be another there'll be another buy trade in here. This is the support. If it holds it, I think we're going quite quickly to the upside. If we lose it, you're going quite quickly to the downside on CRO. But that's really all, you know, I can look at on the charts in terms of giving you what. That's all the chartists can do on this. There's nothing else I can really give you in terms of, you have some hidden bullish divergences, which is a good sign. You know, momentum's slightly down, but on the daily, yeah, that's all I can really give you. Ultra's just downtrending. It's losing lows. This is just, if you believe in this fucking thing, you're hodling for dear life. I'm hodling for dear life on this one in terms of my investment. But I made the decision that I'm going to hold it for this whole cycle. And let me be completely honest with Ultra. If Ultra, and unfortunately, again, if you're invested in it, the issue is that it might actually be difficult, looking at this chart, for Ultra to make a new high. And if Ultra doesn't, in this market cycle, make a new high, I have to go by objective truths and say that it's probably not worth having the investment. I will sell some. Because in a macro sense, if it can't make a higher high on a macro, and then we go for another cycle, it just means that the potential chance of it coming down to retest the lows during another bull market is higher, because it hasn't consistently made higher lows and higher highs. So we'll have to see how this plays out. You know, if this market cycle goes the whole way and then we don't make a higher high, I'll have to look at potentially, you know, skimming off some of this and then into something else which is more, you know, looks like it's got a better value proposition. Having said that, I'll always hold some, because no one really knows when gaming is going to do its thing in crypto. I don't think it's possible to know when gaming is going to kick off. It's possible that we could have a moment where, I spoke about this on a fucking short, actually. It's possible we could have a moment where a game comes out in crypto, which the whole world wants to play, like a CryptoKitties again, and that just drives the gaming market up. But it's one of those things you just can't really predict. If you guys know any games in development you think can do it, the thing is, all the games that everybody thinks is going to be big, they never really are. They're always the ones which kind of flop. It's always like a game which is kind of new, indie development in crypto. Obviously, in legacy gaming, that's not really the truth. But actually, having said that, there are a few fucking, like, you know, The Forest. That was mental. No one even knew what that was. But I would say with crypto gaming, it's very difficult to know. Whenever they say this is going to be the next big crypto game, it's like, yeah, see you later. It's hard to make a game successful anyway, let alone a fucking crypto game. It's always the ones which no one knows about, like CryptoKitties, Axie and Infinity. And what was that all about? Like, I didn't fucking know about that. That just popped out of nowhere. Anyway, the gaming space is the gaming space. We just have to see what this investment's going to do. You know, it's one of those ones. We can go to total 2. I don't really want to, but Matic. Again, like, you look at Solana compared to Matic. You know, this is a big difference. They're obviously different things, right? They're completely different things, right? But the Solana is really capturing a lot of eyes. It's just a fucking meme coin, shitty factory. And Matic, it hasn't really done that. You know, it's an Ethereum scaling technology. And, you know, I have a big investment in Matic. I think it's going to do well because I think ETH will use it. And people use Polygon, etc. And BSC is a competitor, but they're kind of helping each other and all that shit. So I think, like, yeah, it's an interesting chart. It's definitely, you know, I'll put auto charting tools on, and it will likely show you. So that's actually already in there. So I put them on a little bit too. You can't really see them on the chart, but if you come in here, there's a blue zone down here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe I'll make it a little bit brighter. So this is super crucial. You know, like this level. It kind of reminds me of the BNB chart. You know, if it loses these wicks, it's probably going to... That's actually where I got in, actually, back in the day. I've still got that line drawn there. That was literally where I bought Matic from back in the day. Yeah, 4 cents. That was my entry. I've never taken that off. It just always showed me my first entry. And that was one of my best trades in crypto, other than, obviously, Bitcoin. That was a run, and I let the whole thing run, and I got out at such a great, because it did this big fucking thing first, and then it just did that, and I was like, that's just obvious. Like, as a trader, you know, this is almost like a delight. It's almost like a gift from God, because it just did such a fucking goddamn good retracement, and like when you get something which literally takes out everything until like the lowest form of support. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that likely this is going to actually stop. The momentum might be switching when you go and wipe out, like, in one fucking day or 2 days, you wipe out like progress you go back to like 2000, like years ago levels. Actually, Engine Coin did that as well. And I had a good trade on Engine Coin. But yeah, I got out of Matic at such a good price. It was literally on this wick, and it was in from here, out from here, and it made me millions and millions of dollars, actually. So it was a good trade. But like, this is a gift. You know, this is the kind of thing which, if Bitcoin does, this is the thing you want to look at. And it's a good example, actually. Like, Bitcoin is going to go on its bull market, and Bitcoin is likely going to do something like that at the end of it, like something nuts. But if you were trying to sell here or sell here or sell here, these all could have been the end, but they weren't the end, right? And this one here was so aggressive to the downside. When it came back up and made that lower high, you know, the real traders got out when it closed, because the close is kind of showing it to you. But the probability of it continuing after that kind of drastic dump, this is my point. You want to allow the market to do what it wants, and then it will do something nuts, and then you're essentially at mercy of the market. So how high does it want to go back to what you're going to make? But at least you have some sort of structure where you can say, okay, now it's going to very likely make a high low. Now it's very likely going to make a lower high. And then you can understand you have a higher conviction that it's going to go lower. You know, if I had been really doing it, it was a spot buy, I could have taken some leverage positions on the short side. But, you know, sometimes you have to be fucking greedy in this game. Actually, I would say don't ever be greedy in this game. But, yeah, you know, Matic's got a lot of work to do. It's right down at local support. Actually, it's just like the most crucial support, you know. It is making lower highs consistently. It is making lower lows. Whether it breaks this and goes into some sort of mental wick territory down here, that remains to be seen. It would be probably, if I see 4 cents again, I'll buy. You know, if it goes back to 4 cents, I'll buy it again, just for the asymmetric upside trade in terms of its, you know, how high can it go and how low further can it go? Obviously, it can do 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. It can go down another 100% on any number. It can go to 4 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents, 1 cent. You could lose 50% all the way. I understand this. But I'm saying that in terms of investment proposition, you know, what was the gain from 4 cents? Like, that's the question. Let me just get 4 cents for you. And if you go at the all-time high, it's just stupid numbers, like 7,000%. Okay. Yeah, so this level here is the line in the sand for Matic. Let me just put on a few indicators and actually zip into a slightly lower time frame to see if we're not getting anything here. It's downtrending. Price GBT is just going to be doing the same shit. There's nothing really you can take from this except for that you are at support. So if you're, you know, trading it, there is a support level here for sure in there for a potential bounce up. But if it wants to go like that, you know, it's just another fucking lower high trend line on it. It's got a lot of work to do. You know, it's just if you want to invest in something which is down and you like the fundamentals, then this is good. But I would say in terms of looking for analyzing this to say, now it's time to move up. There's just nothing really. It's at support, but for it needs to start gaining some shit. And I think that Solana's really been took the the reins on that, because everybody loves trading meme shitties. And Matic's scaling ETH, and I don't think the need to scale ETH is really that important anymore. ETH's still obviously one of my favorite fucking investments, but ETH's caught up. But does the ETH really need the scalability factor when you got Sol? It's debatable. So we'll see what Matic can do. I got my long-term investment. I love Matic for what it is, but I drew this fucking Fractal Legends like at the beginning of this FTX collapse shit, okay? So it's playing out pretty well. Even the timing of it's pretty good. And I drew this, I haven't changed this, and I do still think with Fibonacci extension levels, it could go up to $14,000 Ethereum. And that's similar to my predictions. I haven't got it on this chart, but 270k Bitcoin. So yeah, it's interesting. Just going through the alts again. If there are any alts you guys want me to do, I will do them. Doji the Moji, you naughty little fucking dog. Yeah, I think Doji is a promising. It looks good. It has broken some stuff. This swing high here, it did get above it. We're now looking for the higher low. I do think Doji is actually a better chart than Matic, for instance, in terms of breaking some stuff. It's below it now, but at least you got the move above it. So now all it takes is break above there, into support, next level, and then it could begin its uptrend. But yeah, Doge, I've just got a big investment in it in terms of, holding it in my spot bag. The old Shiba Inu. Oh my God. Shiba, I hate to say it, it's a better chart than Doge. Shiba is a better chart than Doge. That's a really aggressive move. It's wiped out so many people up here. If not, just allowed everybody to then get back in, get back out. It's just gearing up for a big springboard. And it is what you usually find with these things is they, you have one big move and you have an even fucking bigger one. It's a pretty good chart looking at it from this perspective. A lot of buyers coming in. Even a higher low here is pretty nice. But from here to the all-time high, you need to look at that. Yeah, 500%. You could 5x it. I just can't get away. I don't actually have any Shiba, to be honest. I look at Shiba, but I have more Doge. I'm just a bit of an old school crypto guy. Just got my Doge. I'm happy with it. I don't really fuck with the meme coins and stuff. I just like my Doji, my Doge father. And I do think with Doge, maybe being integrated into Twitter with Elon, etc. I think that thing there could just, it's just worth having a bet on it. I think it's worth having some. It's Shiba as well, but is Shiba going to be able to? I don't know. It's one of those debates. Shiba's just a smaller market cap as well. So is that true actually though? Because Dogecoin has had, yeah, it is a lot bigger actually. So Doge is 18. Can't believe Doge nearly went to 100 bill. That was mental. Shiba is 9. So yeah, it's about double the size. So double the size, double the volatility, and double the percentages. That's about fair, isn't it? But Doji, the Doge father, I just think it's worth having a bet on because of the Elon narrative around it. Also, it's one of the first proper meme coins which actually has established kind of market share. It's in the top fucking 10, isn't it? Yeah, it's 8 on the coin market list. So, yeah, come on, Doge. Do us proud. Obviously, I got famous legends back in the day. I've said this a million times, but everyone said Doge was going to go to $1. And I came out on stream. That stream's got like hundreds, I think it got like 110,000 views. Had like, I think 20,000 people watching at one point that stream when I was shorting Doge. I was in London. I remember it was fucking hilarious. You can go on my YouTube channel actually, and then you can go on YouTube and then do popular videos, or go videos and then type in popular ones, and you can watch the video. It's hilarious. And I was like, guys, I'm just going to do a warning message. I am short on Dogecoin from like 69 cents or something stupid. I think it went to 70, didn't it? Yeah, I got into like 68. And I was like, guys, it's not going to go to a fucking dollar. Be careful. When it dumps, thank you for the money. And it literally happened on stream. It literally just went like absolutely imploded. It was so fucking hilarious back in that Doge run. But yeah, I was famous for shorting Doge, but I don't fucking have any bias. I got back into Doge when the FTX collapse happened. And I think it was probably here or something. And where was FTX? Let's find out. It was around here, wasn't it? It wasn't that, though. It was probably this one. But I'm in on Doge. And I do think it's worth having a bet because of the Elon narrative. And I do think it's just all that stuff worth being in on it. Right, so we can do some more. Actually, let's have a look at silver. There's been a little bit of stuff going on about the silver. Like, obviously, Bitcoin's catching up with silver right now. So we're knocking on the door for silver at the minute, which is a massive milestone, guys. Like, we have to fucking admit. Like, I was talking about Bitcoin when it was less than fucking 50 billion or less. This is back in 2016 when it was trading at like, well, it's $600. What was the market cap? I was talking about it at $600. And that was one of the main things, was talking about gold, silver, and it eclipsing, obviously gold is the big daddy, but it is actually mental that it's happened so quickly as well. Like, when we look back in history at the adoption of Bitcoin, it will look like we all just knew. It would just look like human beings are so smart. It feels like a long time now, the adoption, but when you look back in history at things, it takes like decades of hundreds of years for things to go through cycles, or things being adopted, or even just like civilizations growing from like the Bronze Age to the Nickel Age, or whatever it is, the Bronze to the Steel Age. Like, it takes like decades or hundreds of years. But like, you'll look back at Bitcoin and be like, you'll look back at Bitcoin and be like, oh, they did all of that in like 12 years, and now Bitcoin's the same as silver in 12 years. That's fast. We're actually smart. There's a lot of idiots out there who just didn't get it. But like, it will look like we were fucking geniuses, like the human race. 12 years, and Bitcoin's basically knocking on the door of silver, which has been around for thousands and thousands of years, used as the peasants' money of the globe since the dawn of basically money itself. And in 12 years, Bitcoin's got the same fucking market cap. Yo, Leggies, that was genius. That was absolute genius, Leggies. Damn it. And I've been saying, guys, from the beginning, remember, I was fucking calling for it. I was like, everyone's like targeting $11 trillion. Bitcoin can be 11 trillion market cap, the same as gold. Guess what? Gold's going to be at 20 trillion by then. Gold's going to have a $20 trillion market cap. So just think about that. We're all targeting 10 trill. No, it's got to be double that to even get to gold. You've got to remember, gold's on its own fucking bull market. And everybody's like, yeah, I think potentially Bitcoin one day will have the same market cap as gold. But gold's going up every day as well. Because obviously it has to go up, because it can't not go up. If you print dollars, gold will do an accounting for the amount of dollars you print, because essentially that's what fucking dollars are. They're just a receipt for gold. So it's looking good. And also, everyone's like, but the inflation adjusted. Look, we're getting to the point now, by the market cap of Apple is $3.4 trillion. If you do an inflation adjusted analysis on the biggest companies ever in history, I can't remember where I read this article, but it was fucking great. I wish I could give the guy credit. I don't know what the URL is. Maybe I do. Maybe I do know what it is. No. It was a really good article about, like, looking at what the market cap of companies were in history. And at one point, the East Dutch India Trading Company was at like 4.1 trillion in terms of, if you did an inflation adjusted of what was the market cap of this company. They had their own fucking army. They had their own PMC, private military contracting army. They had their own whole ports all around the world. They were essentially a country. And at that point, they were a higher market cap than like most countries. But we're getting to the point now where, yeah, we're getting like 3.4 trill. Like, these companies are beginning to get pretty fucking whamped now. Obviously, if you inflation adjust it, it's lower. But just in general speak, this is there is growth happening in Apple, as well as just the price, the market cap rising. That's what I'm trying to say. There is growth in these companies, as well as just the market cap going up because there's more dollars. I think especially Nvidia has been a big growth story for sure this year or last year. And Nvidia is, in my opinion, probably going to keep going up because, like, with the whole cryptocurrency fucking thing going on and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, like, the need for this like complete drain on needing to have computation is just going up and up and up and up and up. And Microsoft won't really do the hardware, to my knowledge. Obviously, they're more of a software company, right? So it really could become interesting what's going to happen with Nvidia. I think Nvidia and Tesla are the ones which I think are the best bets at the moment. Tesla's still got a ways to go, In terms of like, everyone's like, but Walmart still do this, and Walmart still do this, and Walmart still do that. It's like, yeah, but give it another 10 years. SPX and SP500. Yeah, so it's the Chinese companies as well. Bank of it, like the banks have just got wrecked, legends. They've just been going down and down and down. Even MasterCard's fallen down quite far, to be honest. MasterCard and Visa were much higher. Visa's slightly bigger, and I think that's actually not what it's been historically. I think MasterCard has been bigger than Visa for a bit, but maybe I'm wrong. But I think last time I looked, JP's come down a bit as well. So yeah, you're just seeing a big shift from essentially traditional finance going into tech. And that's what this is articulating to me in terms of just looking at a very, surface level, 1 to 100 of what the biggest fucking biggest companies by market cap are. And it's pretty obvious, guys, that finance and technology companies, in terms of tech finance, or you could call it like, the fintech space with technology companies, they are the future, like for sure. And like banks, they're just not. Obviously, JP Morgan Chase do like $10 trillion a day. Okay, $10 trillion a day. Okay, whatever. They bank the United States government. Okay, cool. I understand that's going to take a while. Like, they're fucking massive. But the trajectory is not up in the long term. I think they even bank, like, just whole nations and shit. Like, it's mental. JP Morgan, like, literally bank nations. So, it is going to take some time. But the market cap isn't massive. And obviously, you have to be careful as well, because the market cap of JP Morgan being 600 billion is a little bit more significant than Bitcoin being 1.3 trillion, because the only thing Bitcoin's got for itself is high market cap, because it's store of value. So you buy it and you don't sell it, which is essentially creating the market cap. So the whole premise of it is store of value. This isn't. This is, people make money on this. They use it as money sometimes. They trade stock. They use it as collateral. They're buying and selling it. They're trading it. Obviously, it's still pretty fucking wamp. Anyway, I'm just kind of looking at this. It's interesting. Netflix has come down a little bit recently. Shell, they used to be way higher. Oil, again, moving down the list a little bit. There's obviously a lot of oil money still out there, and it's not going to go away anytime soon, because the prices will come down. But I think Tesla come out with some, solar city solutions. Anyway, yeah, I always go through that. It's just interesting to see what's cracking. On Bitcoin, we'll see it's still the same on CBBI. All the similar kind of jazz, really, to be honest. Hasn't moved one bit, guys, in terms of what we've got on Z Bitcoin treasuries. We're going to have ETH treasuries as well soon, which is going to be cool. And the watch market, again, we've still got some time. So it's not yet. I think, within the next 2 years, I think this will probably end up in an uptrend again. So at the moment, we're downtrending on the watch market. So if you own luxury watches, which are secondhand watches, like, the Pateks and the APs, sorry, AP. And then, you've got some nice fucking classic Omegas, etc. Obviously Rolex. But these watches are going down generally in price over the last... God, it's been a while now. Since the last 2 years has been just down. Obviously, it had a big high, but it's down. But the watch market will turn around soon. This is not going to be like one of those charts like Bitcoin where it suddenly, does a fucking spike down or anything. This is what it's articulating, is that buyers are now beginning to equal the sellers, because you're seeing it begin to go flat. And it'll probably go flat for a year, where the buyers and sellers are just in the middle, and it's just the prices aren't moving, and they're just trading between each other. And then you will probably see the prices of watches begin to rise again. So if you do want to diversify, let's hope this will be a very, very nice trade. This will be a very good trade, actually. Let's just say this, because watches are going to take a while. Dismiss. Watches are going to take a while to turn around. If Bitcoin does want to, for whatever reason, go into an extremely fast bull market, and we do actually realize higher prices earlier than other asset classes, for instance, real estate, land, or watches, there could be a very interesting synergy, because I think Bitcoin does a massive move. Gold's already doing its move. We see significantly higher prices in Bitcoin, and maybe 300,000, something like that. And then what you could really do is you could go to a lot of these ADs and be like, would you accept my Bitcoin? Some of them might say no. Some of them might say yes. If they're stupid enough to take Bitcoin at the highs, or when it's significantly risen in price, you might be in for a very juicy trade, because you could go in there with 1 Bitcoin with 300k, buy 3 watches with 1 Bitcoin, and then the watch market in a year later, if you're looking at this chart, could begin to then do 2x, right? So, and then Bitcoin, ideally in the perfect scenario, would be then going into its bear market, and then it'll be a crossing between the two. But I'm talking kind of like almost theoreticals here, because that would be a perfect scenario, but we don't know what the market's going to do. But historically speaking, actually Mike Maloney deserves the credit for what I'm about to say, but he did a really good video a few years ago, and he was showing what people before Bitcoin and even before like real fiat currency being the real store of value for most humans, the real trade used to be gold into real estate, and then real estate into gold. And there were certain points in our past where if you had have turned all your gold into real estate and then waited 2 years and then turned all of your real estate into gold, you would have like 200 times the amount of gold you had and stuff. It's just some mental numbers. Obviously, it's very difficult to time the exact bottom of the top over these long periods of time. Like we're talking like 50, 60, 70 years, maybe even hundreds of years sometimes. But there have been certain points in our past where you go into gold and you sell your real estate, all right? And then you wait like fucking 10 years and you can get huge returns on flipping back out. And that's what I'm looking at in something maybe more of a micro sense with the watch market. There might be a potential synergy here where Bitcoin does a very, very aggressive bull market. Watches haven't moved just yet. You get a whole fucking house full of watches and let them 3x over the next 10 years and watch Bitcoin go back down to fucking 70k. Because Bitcoin might be, it might be carving out the significant support of the future right now. Like this here might be what we look at in a few years' time. Say Bitcoin does something like this and jets off to the future, 300k. We might be looking at maybe coming back that this actually ends up being the support of the future. So a lot of people don't understand that concept, but like this might be where Bitcoin comes back to, at the bottom of the next bull market. And the longer we stay here, the better. Obviously I'm thinking quite far ahead of the game here, but everyone's bored of this, but it might be a blessing in disguise, leggies. The longer we stay here, the more support in terms of visual support, psychological support, and also there's going to be resting orders probably all the way back there as well. I like Swatch, but Swatch don't have a scarcity factor to them. There might be a few Swatch watches that have that scarcity factor. But what drives the watch market isn't predominantly it's not the utility or build quality of the watch that predominantly drives the fact that it has a price that it has. There are some watches which are very, very low actually in the quality of what the build is, but they have this extremely high price. And you have some watches which are very, very high in build, which have a very low price. It's more to do with the synergy between essentially like baseball cards or collectibles or perceived market value because it's scarce. So, if you buy a Rolex and it's a one of one, you're probably going to have a better chance of it retaining its purchasing power than something a Swatch, which is mass produced every fucking day, like a fucking, so it's to do with the scarcity factor. And also with watches, there's a very big, collectible, and the word is this: there's a big demand in terms of sentimental value for people, in terms of physical, sentimental, and scarcity, and also tangibility factor. So it's a slightly different market, but I get it because people buy a watch and it means something to them. With Bitcoin, it's like you buy it, but it's like it's just money. A watch is money, but it can have a story and it means something in it. And also with Rolexes, for instance, they're not actually that scarce. They just have a great brand as well. So they have brands behind them. They have teams behind them. It's almost like trading a commodity and a traditional, financial company with P to E ratios all at the same time. It's an interesting market. I've never really been a big watch trader because I think that the most money made in watch trading is probably the market in terms of the exchanges. The exchanges within the watch market are the ones which make all the money, very similar to Binance. But trading watches is a long-term game. But if you enjoy watches, and I've got some nice trade time watches here. I got the Trading View watch, which is a 1 of 500, which isn't that scarce, but 1 of 500 still doubled in price. Actually, quadrupled in price, actually, now I looked at eBay since when I bought it. So, and I like the watch, so I like it, and it's gone up 4 times in price. Cool. If I wanted to sell it, I could sell it. If shit hit the fan, cool. I got a watch I like, and I could sell it probably for 4 times the price of what it is when I bought it, because it's a limited Trading View watch. And then you've got like, yeah, it's multiple facets to the game with watches. And also, you know, when they bring out, say, you know, a watch, for instance, which is made of gold, then you're really diving into other stuff as well, because then you have the metal value of the watch. That can go up in price. You have the scarcity factor of what the watch is. How many watches were made? Will they ever make it again? Do you have the verifying numbers to state that? And then you also have who owned the watch sometimes. It's like, you know, sometimes the watch could be owned by a king or a queen or some fucking famous football player or whatever. And then that creates another thing on top of it. So it's like so many different variants with watches that can essentially demand the price being what the price is. So it's pretty interesting. It's an interesting market. Like I'm kind of going down a little bit of a rabbit hole with it right now, but like I'm saying, it is interesting. I can understand why people do it, because it is actually slightly more interesting than just trading, say, straight financial commodities. Because commodities don't have a PE ratio or a team, or you're like, oh, that rock, I'm buying gold because, you know, this rock was owned by this. Like, yeah, that can happen, but like most of it's bullion gold sitting in a fucking vault. Bitcoin, for instance, as well. It's like you can't really. Maybe you could track the wallet and say, oh, you know what, that Bitcoin in my wallet, you know, and also it's just all denominated to 100 million sats. So like, you couldn't be like, whoa, that Bitcoin went into David Beckham's wallet, and now I've got it. And look at it over there. That used to be in David Beckham's wallet, you know, that string of numbers. No, it's not really working, is it? I do agree that maybe we'll have NFTs on the walls and stuff, and we'll look at things, and we'll like, that's the 1 of 1 NFT of fucking this. But yeah, nah, well, I get it. I get the market. Some people say I don't get it at all. You're an idiot if you buy an expensive watch. I don't agree. I also think the watch market's pretty good for just creating jobs as well. So, you know, if you work in an AD, it's usually physical person-to-person interactions. You also have the logistics, the manufacturing. If you buy luxury watches, you are doing a good thing for the economy, because there's a lot of processes in there which are using very high-skilled manual labor to create the watches. You've got people behind the desks. You've got all the fucking nice, expensive furniture they buy. It's a luxury feel. So I think it's a good market just in general for people to have work. So it can't really be hit by AI. Well, maybe it can, but I don't know what it would look like. But I think the premise of buying a nice watch is you walk in, you know, you have an experience, you've got a beautifully made thing which is made by a human being. You've got, you know, a story to tell. It's a personal thing, you know, it's all that kind of shit. I get it. I don't own that many watches. I have a few. Got my trade time. Got my little chiller one there as well. And I've got... Actually, I lost that watch. Yeah, I had a fucking old school sick watch, but it got stolen. Got stolen in Spain. Because Spain is a shithole. Never go there. I will never, ever go to Spain again, except Ibiza. Okay, chill. All right, I went to Ibiza. But Ibiza doesn't count as Spain. Ibiza isn't Spain. Ibiza is basically England. It's just loads of English people. Like, there are Spanish, obviously, but I'm saying basically Ibiza is occupied by the Western world. I think that's fair to say. Now, it's occupied. There's not many Spanish people in comparison to the amount of Germans, English, Americans, party goers, Portuguese. It's just like going to a music festival. Like, yes, it's the music festival is in England. It's called Glastonbury, but actually everyone is from all around the world who goes. So Ibiza doesn't count as Spain. Ibiza counts as mine. I own Ibiza. Okay, cool. I'm just looking at some messages I'm getting from the team. Anyway, I'm going to carry on streaming for a bit longer. Also, guys, in terms of exchanges, a lot of guys have been asking me about exchanges. The exchanges to go for if you're KYC, if you don't want to use KYC, is Alpha. So I have my own exchange. Click on Alpha Pro. This is what it looks like. This is my DEX. It's called alpha.exchange. So you can trade on this, guys, with no KYC, no VPN. I get this message every day. No KYC, no VPN, no SPF. That's the motto. It's my DEX. All right, I created this DEX. You do not need to have any of that shit. So this is my one. We have an update coming as well, because we do have some people have an issue connecting their wallet because MetaMask changed and we have to do an update. But overall, you'll probably be fine because if you use BSC. So Alpha's good. Also, I would recommend Bingx and Bybit. Okay, so those are good exchanges. You can get the links in the description, etc., in the description box below. And also, if you get Bingx, you can get my trading bot. So you can see here the profitability of the trading bot over a long period of time. You can see the trading bot has beaten Bitcoin by a substantial figure. So you can get my trading bot on Bingx as well. And the link is in the description. Sign up, get an account. Oh yeah, we have email alerts now, guys. You can't see that because my face is in the way, which is very upsetting. I can't show you it. But you see where my mouse cursor is? There's a button you can press here, which signs you up to the bot. So essentially, you click it, and you'll get email alerts. So when the bot buys, you'll get an email. I actually got one. I tested it, and I got one yesterday. No, it was the last sell signal. It wasn't. It was 2 days ago. And then, yeah, you get a buy and sell signal to your email. Just makes it easier for you guys to track the actual signals, etc. And if you want to take it to the next level, go and look at the advanced strat. The advanced strat oriente. Also, I do the signals also as well. So you see it says MDX Trading Bot on Discord here. The buy and sell signals also do go into this Discord thing. So if you leave this screen up, the buy and sell signals will go into Discord. But to get Discord, you need VIP. And then you can subscribe to Zed. You can subscribe to Zed bot signals. Yeah, the thing is with the bot, you can't really do it on the DEX. It's a decentralized exchange. So I haven't got an API I can give to you. I haven't got any of this. I don't see any of the user data. I can't input this. It's a decentralized exchange. So there might be a very complicated way of doing it, but at this point, I would also say it's better to use the bot on a big exchange like Bybit or Bingx, just because there's higher liquidity, there's less slippage, the volume's better. Ultimately, you're going to get a better experience and a better entry. On the DEX, it's only doing $2 or $3 million a day. So I think on a bad day, we're doing $2 million. On a good day, we're doing $10 million of volume. So it's more for hedging, small scalps, etc. You're not going on there and doing $100 million fucking buy, okay? Also, MDX, you can use a DEX with the... I can't see what happened. Trading view alerts. If you're in the Zeus. Tell me about that. I'm not going to probably do it, but you can tell me about that. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, guys. Also, this is just a nice little charity tweet. So if you want to give to charity, which I expect most of you guys do. Where am I going with this? Oh yeah, into the fucking chat. Yeah, so if you want to give to charity, because I'm giving you a little giveaway, I just thought, you know what, fuck it. Give something to charity. Go and like and retweet that post. And then I'm doing every single like it gets. I give $1 away. Every single retweet, I give $1 away. And then just comment the charity. So if it gets lots of likes and it gets lots of retweets, I'll send a nice little donation. Probably, at this point, we've only got $70. Well, actually, we've got nearly $100. So I'll probably increase the amount. But I'm saying, if you guys all go and like it and retweet, that will be nice for the people of the world. Thinking about doing it to some children's charity and that fucking Palestine or something like that, I think it's probably Palestinian children. They're getting pretty wrecked right now. But yeah, you can set up the bot here, legends. You can do, if you come to this page as well, this is the easiest way to get the bot set up. And you guys already know, most of you guys know this in the VIP community, but you got bot setup, so you just do this steps. You got the tutorial video, which we recommend watching, and then you got the advanced strat as well. But we changed the UI of it to make it a little bit easier for you guys to navigate, sire. Navigate around, sire. So 4-hour wicks, not great. Hourly wicks, not great. Devlev hitting up hard right now. It needs to hold the devlev. It's really tight on the devlev. The devil Z level. Bull flag on BTC on the 1 hour. Nah, man, there is no flag here, really. There's no pole. Like, you could say maybe that was a bearish flag there, but it's not really. There's no flag. A flag is like this, and then it goes like that, all right? And then you have, it goes up through there, comes back and finds support there. And then you've got very high chance of getting a move, okay? Bull flag. And then the other way would be like this. And then the price comes like that. And then it goes, oh, we can't make it. And then it fucks off back down. So that's what flags look like. Maybe, you know, but I've never ever really... Almost flags are like the thing which everyone speaks about when they get into trading. It's like, oh, I can obviously identify what a flag is. But honestly, I've never ever traded them. I've never even looked for them. I've made millions of dollars in this game. And I've never really been a dude who's been like, I've identified a flag and now I'm going to make this. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not thinking about that. I don't care about that. I think about different things. I think about where are the inflection points, where are the SR levels. I'm trying to play chess essentially and think forward. And also flags are usually in trending markets, and I'm in the trade anyway. Guys, we already got 65 likes, by the way. A little bit upset. If you guys could all hammer that like button, it'd be very appreciative. I'm gonna do a couple more hours here. Let's just do some let's go. Let's ask some questions, guys. I want to do some questions. Let's smash it. FMOC in 2 hours. Is it in 2 hours? Why no music today? We could play music, man. We could play music, but just been chatting, really. If you want some beats, we can do it. I wanna see it.
They call me Drac. Yeah, come, baby. I ain't gonna bite you. I just want you to hang on. All right.
Slide.
Sounding like an empire to me. What is it?
Yeah, slide with me, I want you to come away. Don't worry, baby, everything's okay. You can slide if you don't know my name. Yeah. I'll take you where you've never been before.
Need some water, actually.
There's something for you, no whole lot more.
Get some Vada. Fight in the slide. I'm just into this. Slide away. Right. I'll answer some questions. I am up for some music, but it's like 9 p.m. and I'm getting my whole house fucking soundproof so I can play music for as long as I want. But at the moment, it's like, I'm sorry. Turn the music down when it gets late. It's like, fuck's sake. Man like Max with the bucket hat. Yeah, brother. Just chilling with the bucky. You know, I'm going to start a company called Buckets and Bummies. And I sell bucket hats and bum bags. And that's it. I've got the store already open. Well, you can't purchase yet because we're doing the final tests. But if you click on store, you get the old arrangement of the MDX Algo t-shirts. So these are coming out. They're going to be all limited as well, so we're going to do a little fire off on those. But yeah, you can get you go to the mdxalgo.com/dashboard. You can see all that jazz. That's in the chat now. And then, yeah, like you can actually look at Trading Bot for free. So you can go in here, keep an eye on the old Discord server, all that jazz aruniente. Yeah, I'm in the Burj right now. Yeah, I'm in the Burj Khalifa right now. I should probably try and sort out this background. Because, like, what I've done is I've got it so when I look out there, I can see the view. So I can see outside of the Burj Khalifa right now. But the kind of orientation of having the desk over there with the window behind me, it's just not really great for the room, you know? I'd rather live here than just have a desk in the middle of the room. But, yeah, I could probably do something. Maybe the solution would be to put, like, a fucking mirror there. If I put a mirror there, then you'll be able to see what's going on. That could actually be a good idea. A little mirror. But then I have to constantly be like, you right, mate? Whoa, whoa. Looking at myself the whole time. Maybe just put a television. We'll work something out. I'm going to get it all soundproofed. Doing the windows next week. And then, yeah, get this show on a road, really. I'm making this into like a compound fucking soundproofed venue. So I can slide. I can slide. Oh yeah.
I hope we give it to you.
Yeah.
Be afraid, 'cause you gotta be late. I need you now.
Funk Dizzle.
Don't let me down. You're a low down lady, but your game is kinda shaky. Be around when you
Yes,
want
that's
to
juicy
get
right there.
down.
All right. I like that.
You wanna know that you gotta get a funky slide. You better slide to me. My name's Macca MC. LPD, get to me. I got a beard as well at the moment. I've been going a bit mental with the beard and everything, so I got a beard and a bucky on. I quite like the beard, isn't it? Looking like a bit of a fucking... I look like an Australian fucking gangster. Slide. Slide. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Slide. Slide. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Slide. Slide. Oh yeah. Slide. Let it slide. 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 That's quite nice like that. Right, it's going absolutely hectic. What was the question? Someone said something about the bot. What's the return percentage-wise on the MDX Trading Bot if someone puts in 10K and let it run for a year? Well, this is what this is for. So you can actually see every single year what the return was. Overall, if you had $10,000 and you put $10,000 into Bitcoin on the 1st of January 2020, you would now have $82,000. So you put 10K into Bitcoin in the 1st of January 2020, you'd have 82K. If you had have bought Bitcoin but you were using the trading bot, the MDX Trading Bot, you would have 172,000. So it's almost, more than doubling up what you would have. So you'd have 82K if you held HODL for dear life, you'd have 172K. So if you do 100K, then the numbers start getting pretty juicy in terms of if you did $1 million purchase, you'd have 8 or you have 17 million. So okay. So if you did $10, you'd have $82 right now. Fucking doing well. $10 a Bitcoin now, it's $82. Get yourself a really delicious sandwich with that. Fucking good sandwich of that. And then if you use the bot, you'd have 172. But you can do all the testing here. This is using all the backtested information. You can look at it each year, what it made, what it didn't, etc. You can look at the win rate. The win rate's 38% at the moment. So it means that if you counter trade it with the advanced strategy, what it means is that you have a 62% chance of taking the hedge against the positions. So it's very, very lucrative, guys. And I give it away for free because I've made a lot of money using it, and now I get to monetize through the exchange partners. So you go to this thing here, you do step 1, step 2, step 3, use the referral link, and then here it shows you what the actual, you need an invitation link for Bingx. So you just go to full tutorial, and then you'll know what to do. You can't not get it right. You can't not get it right. Yeah, I don't know. I think there probably are, in Australia, but they're probably not they're probably nice ones. They're nice ones, you know. Slide. 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 I was listening to a beat yesterday. It was like actions speak louder than words or something. I think this is it. Flex it in the place. My name's Mackie. I got some wacky backy in my blunt. Cause you're a cunt.
Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words.
Actions speak louder than words.
Action speaks louder than words.
Action.
People say there's gonna be a better day. But the world is the same in every way. Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words.
Action speaks louder than words. Action and action and whip it in the place.
The president says the world is gonna change. Yeah. Mr. Say is nothing. Mr. Do is the man. Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words.
Action speaks louder than words. Welcome back, Jack. Welcome back to the synergy. I just love this 50s, 60s. The 50s and 60s just had like just the best music, the soulful best music. They just sang about real things. These days you just get like all these rappers and Taylor Swift singing about the most shit stuff. They sing about like core shit. Actions speak louder than words. It's just hilarious. Like, it's true as well. What's this one? Music.
Just a fucking thing to let you groove to the music, yeah.
Good music. I can just imagine I'm gonna get my fucking Mustang. I'm gonna get my Ford Mustang 69 with my mustache and just cruise and booze, baby.
If you wanna stretch out, come find out what it's all about. Just get on down to the funky dance music.
Too good.
Say yeah. Say yeah.
It's Duzik by Brick. Back in the day, this was like high tech. This was high tech back in the day. They were like, whoa. Oh, shit, bro. Let it run. Yeah, I'm a fan of 80s as well, but 80s doesn't beat fucking 50s and 60s, man. 80s is lit, but it don't beat 50s and 60s.
It's funky, 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 funky.
That's nice. You've just got some brother on a flute. You just don't get flute action like that in other fucking genres. I got my stack of racks, oh yeah. Max, I don't pay tax, live in the bungalow. What the? Burgering, what? Burgering. That's just facts.
Just a funky to let you groove to the music, yeah. A funky, funky, funky. You know that you can use it.
Funky, funky, funky fit. It's a good one, that one. Steph Lars in the building. What's cracking, Stefan? You genius. How are you, dude? We got now. Oh, yeah, do it if you're satisfied. Yeah, but nah. But you know what I'm saying? We'll play a few more. It's not 10 o'clock yet. Come on, we've got a few more. And I'm bound it and bound it and bound it and get the music. Down, get the music. You know what? Just a classic one. I was listening to the other day was Le Freak. Le Freak is just old school. Like, it's literally like one of the most known funk tunes ever. But this part here, this bit here, this is how good it is. Everyone knows this. Building, bro. Now free. Can't move my head backwards and forwards. I get hit by this thing on the back and then this on the front. That's free.
All that pressure got you down, has your head spinning all around. Feel the rhythm.
Classic for like.
Come on along and have a real good time. Like the days of stomping at your boy. Now
this ain't 80s, bro.
Oh, what a joy.
They've done a lot of remixes. They did a lot of remixes of this track in the 80s, but this ain't 80s.
Find a spot out on the floor.
Let me just check, actually. I'll check now. I think probably 70s, mate. I think probably 70s, this one. Well, the original of this, obviously. But they remade it a million times in the 80s. We'll check. Someone check online. Check online. Yeah, it came out 1978. 70s. Nailed it. Yeah. Bus stop. Oh. I haven't even got this. Is on a Spotify Genius. I ain't got this one. That's naughty. Save that one. He said some people are made of plastic. Some people are up to no good.
I'm for real. I'm as real as a real can get. If what you're looking for is real loving, then what you see is what you get. Ha! What you see is what you get. What you get. What you see is what you get. It's what you get.
Yeah, 80s has got way more electronic synthesizers in it. It was like the explosion of brand new hardware electronic synthesizers. 80s was like that.
The best thing yet.
Yeah, it's a nice one. I've saved that one. Nah. Anyway, we'll do some questions. I got to keep it down a little bit. It's getting 9:20. Don't want to get no nice complaints, legends. What's cracking out there, bro? What's cracking out there, legends? It's just literally staggy. We're sideways, legends. Oh. Flex. Actually, I might order some food. Because otherwise, you know, I won't eat. I need to eat, sire. Oh, I'm on airplane mode. What the fuck? That's why I was. That's a good. There we go. Turn it off, and then there. Oh, okay. Missed a few of those, didn't I? Oh, Tinder. Don't know if you can hear that. Whoops. Right. Yeah, guys. Let me order some food. We'll keep an eye on the charts as well. Yeah, drop some questions in the chat. And also, guys, you can come to the website now, mdxalgo.com/tradingbot, and you can get email alerts for the bot. The bot, you know, the bot. The bot. The bot. You like the bot? I like the bot. Pin that. Yeah, check out that link, legends. Get the bot. Come on, let's move, man. Let's do this. Yeah, I just. I spoke about Doge for ages. I was singing it. I was singing its praises. So you would be happy to know that I was putting out good propaganda about the Doge, the dog coin. I was pushing the narrative of the Elon pump, which we all know is going to happen one day. Elon, pump it, please. Right, I'll leave the decision up to you. Shall I get tenderloin steak, brisket steak, or Wagyu steak? Japanese, Texas, Brazil. It's called Texas de Brazil, or Mr. Brisket. In the chat, you can tell me. Whip it in the mixer. Oh, there's a place called High Joint as well, which I don't get it that much because it's more of a naughty food, but they do these mental burgers. Organic, nice beef. Nice beef in it, you know what I mean? Someone at the door. Wagyu. Everyone loves Wagyu, but Wagyu is the biggest scam in the world. I've been to Japan. Everything's Wagyu in Japan. You go to the smallest little crap place, like, yes, it's Wagyu. It's like, okay. Everything's Wagyu. The Japanese are so rich. The reason the Japanese have the third biggest economy on the planet is because they fooled the world that Wagyu beef was better than anything else. And they sell it for a massive premium and just make billions off Wagyu. It is nice, though. It's very delicious. I do love I had brisket last night, though. I'm actually going to go for tenderloin, I think. I'm going to tenderloin myself up. I might get a double tenderloin. Ooh. With some asparagus, some green peas, maybe some nice, like, black beans. But I like to keep it on the keto during the week. Oh, we've got Australian lamb flanks now. Very nice. Eh? I'm going to get that. I'm getting tenderloin times 2. A little bit of chicken with asparagus and green beans. Real ketogenic. And then also, I can see you watching me over there. I'm also going to grab from this other place, which is a Chinese restaurant. I'm going to get the garlic broccoli. oh, they know what they're doing. Like, I've just got all the best little garlic broccoli from there, tenderloin from here, sometimes brisket. I've got this, like, this shit down because I have never cooked in my apartment, and I've been there for nearly 6 months now. It's clean as fuck in there. It's never been used. It's like walking into a brand new kitchen every day. Oh, they do broccoli beef. But it's not organic, so... Gotta give it a miss, Legends. Gotta give it a miss. Bitcoin's trying to do something. Come on, hold the devil level. Look at that. We're on the dev level. Like, how much more do you need the devil level to be the level? The yellow line is where the volume... Like, the devil level. I suppose we are on a lower time frame, but still. The dev level. It's just an insane level. It's one of those levels where you're like, this is the level. Yeah, that was quite nice, actually. Maybe I'll get that. Hot and sour soup. Fuck it. Why not? It's like fucking £3. Yeah, the hydrogen water thing I've been doing has been actually pretty good. So I got this Echo Go. And yeah, you basically put distilled water, or I put bottled water in it. And you put water into this thing, and then you click a button, and it puts hydrogen. The thing is called so you have H2O obviously as water, but they're connected. H2O is connected. That actually pumps in and breaks the molecules together. So you have hydrogen oxide, which goes into the water. And if you look at the studies on hydrogen oxide, actually, when they put those people in the hospital, they put those things up their nose. A lot of that is hydrogen, not just oxygen. And it literally just feel hydrated. I just feel very hydrated constantly. Yeah, this is the devil level, Legends. You know, it could be a little scalp off it now, but it's just a little bit too umming and ahhing over it. It's, you know, for above it, it's just, we're at the inflection right now. We really are. Do you add gas canisters to wear cup then, bro? What, mate? What are you talking about? Who won the last contest, MDX? Well, we have a couple different contests going right now. So the legend board, Kieran's number one at the moment. I think, yeah, Jeff is going to win the $120 this month, I think, because we've only got 7 hours left. So in 7 hours, as long as Happy Cat Disco's blasting it, doesn't get ahead, Jeff will be winning. And then someone who won the Discord thing. I think someone won the Discord one. So in Discord in our VIP group, someone won the back-tested one. And then all the other ones, yeah, some guy won. I said, I'll give you a bundle of crypto. Then he said, nah, I want MDX Algo. I went, okay. So I gave him a lifetime subscription to MDX Algo. Yeah, it's been pretty sick, man, the giveaways. Dun, 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 dun. I do love brisket. I can't lie. I do love brisket. Brisket is one of those things where I didn't used to like it. I was like, you know what? Too, like, greasy, loads of fat, loads of fucking... But I found this spot, which is, it does a organic 48-hour smoked brisket, and the smoke ring in with a combination of the organic produce in terms of good, honest meat, not like full of bullshit chemicals, antibiotics. You know what it's like. You know what these companies are like. It's organic. It just has like a different kind of realness to it. It's like, brisket. Oof. I'm very, very happy with this place. Like, I would happily just be like, look, man, if you've got any issues and you need to stay open and it's Dubai, it's the summer, you're not getting the customers, I'll happily subsidize at least a purchase per day to keep you in business so you can keep supplying me with that brisket. Yo, you won. Bro, that fucking strategy you came up with was sick, dude. That strategy was mad. Yeah, I'll DM you in Discord. And then, yeah, I think Viking should have DM'd you already, right? Viking should have been on your case, man. Rum dum dum dum. Let me message this guy. Because you can only... What? Because you can only to the reaction on the cup is spitting the H2... What? So the water to do... You know what I'm going to do after that, reading that? I'm going to smoke some nicotine. Because what I do is I do this. This is a secret tip for every 78 people watching. Secret tip is what I do. Is I wake up and I drink matcha green tea with M&M, TMG, hyaluronic acid, and niacin. And then I drink green tea with those supplements, and then I have my last meal is usually 10 p.m., so in 30 minutes. So by the time I wake up, green tea, I then go into like a deep ketosis and autophagy through my fast. Start feeling fucking amazing all day, just in this ketosis state. And also autophagy. And then I just blast like one of these like every 2 hours. It's like 3 a day. And the nicotine with the fucking goddamn... The nicotine with the green matcha green tea, with a combination of the supplements, with no food. It's because you're in a fasted state. I'm just ready to rumble. All day, just blasting. Doing the nomad diet. One big meal a day. Or eat like lots of vegetables, meat, organics, chicken, bone broth as well. And I promise you, the results are good. I'm also completely shredded. So, like, I haven't got much fat on me. It's just, like, muscle. Just you look down, I'm like, bro. And I'm back, like, after I beat I lost a little bit of muscle. But now, I'm just shredded out. Anyway, that was my life. So I'll give you a little update. Leggies. We need to get this devil level out of the way. It's good shit. And also hydrogen water as well all day. So guys, in the chat, tell me your routines. Tell me what you do when you wake up. I just don't eat. I haven't eaten breakfast for like 10 years now. Nah, not 10 years. Nah, maybe. I just never eat breakfast. You look healthy, bro. Thanks, man. Trying to stay healthy. And I got a beard at the moment as well. So, you know. Lots of water and coffee. Yeah. I would substitute out the coffee though. Obviously coffee's good because it has caffeine, so you get like that buzz. But I would say if you do matcha green tea, it has loads of theine in it as well as caffeine. So it kind of makes you into this very calm, focused, energetic kind of caffeinated buzz. But with coffee, it's more of a jittery type of caffeinatedness. You have no theine. The amount of theine in green matcha tea is the equivalent to the caffeine. So essentially it levels it out. You get the focus, but you also get the calmness. And that's my, I have a theory about why the West is so erratically caffeinated and why Japan is so calmly caffeinated. But matcha's, and it's got loads of other shit in it as well. It's got catechins as well. It's got tons of catechins in it. And catechins go into all of your cellular level. They'll clean out your mitochondria. They'll fix cells. They'll fix fucking, even, there's a lot of studies saying it will reduce cancer, the ability for cancer to grow. Also, it feeds your stomach bacteria. Gut bacteria, actually. And of course, I got it right here. This stuff. Celtic sea salt. Or Celtic sea salt, whatever you want to call it. It's 89 of 90. I think it's got 89 of the 90 minerals you need in the salt, and it's all comes from pretty much. I think it's probably Ireland. Celtic, yeah. So I put that in my water, so I get the electrolytes, and that goes in all my water I drink, and then lemon as well. Squeeze lemon in it. That definitely helps. But overall, you can. There was this one video I watched, and I kind of looked into it. It was this woman, I can't remember her name right now. She's like an old lady. She's like 90 years old. She looks about fucking 60. And she said that she managed to cure someone's cancer with just Celtic sea salt by going into fasted states and giving the minerals for then the body to go into autophagy and then essentially eat the cancer away, which is pretty fucking mental. Whether it's true or not is another debate, but I would say, you know, it's hand-picked salt with, 98 essential minerals. Yeah. It's a good brand. I had a Himalayan rock salt for a bit, but then I went on to Celtic salt, and I was like, you know what? It's better, and it's not like I can noticeably feel the difference, but in terms of the way it tastes, you know, it's just got that real, just clean salt taste, almost like the ocean. Which is definitely helping the. I do that with my matcha, and I have obviously the salt with it with matcha green tea. Have a good fucking fast for at least 16 hours. I've probably fasted now since I'm probably up to 20 hours right now. I'm probably 20 hours into a fast right now. Every day I'm doing at least 22 because I eat within 2 hours. So every day about 20-hour fast. I just feel like just good. It gives your body some time to regenerate, gets your gut bacteria to kind of calm down. It gives you time to... Honestly, like, the more I do I've been doing it for a long, long time actually now. It was like 2 meals a day, and now I've just kind of... And then I was doing like the odd time, like once or twice a week, 1 meal a day. But to be honest, I'm just 1 meal a day now. I'm just like, I can't get away from 1 meal a day. It's just so good. And also, all the time that you save from thinking about eating breakfast, fucking lunch, and dinner, if you really think about it, if you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's like 3 or 4 hours of your day just concentrating on food. Whether you're ordering it in, or you're eating it, or you're fucking preparing it. It's like 3 hours a day of just thinking about food in some way. I honestly think that just sounds like almost gluttonous and greedy. Like, you don't have to think about food when you just eat once a day. Well, you do, obviously, when you eat, but like, it's just, you order it in, you go to a restaurant, you eat your fucking feed, and then you're like, food is done. Now I can concentrate on all this other shit, and I know I don't have to think about food again. You know, I can just slam out some work, do this, go on a jog, go on a run, go on a fucking, I don't run that much, but go to the gym. So it's definitely, I feel like the 1 meal a day is kind of like the default most efficient and most productive way of living, in terms of just you feel good, you're clean, your head's clear, you have time to rebuild, you can think about other things, efficiency and clarity essentially is just there, like super there. And I think it's probably one of the best default, biological kind of eating patterns that probably human beings have been doing for thousands of years, if not doing maybe sometimes like 1 meal every 2 days, considering like we came from fucking a cave. Maybe it'd be 3 days, maybe you'd eat twice in 1 day, and then you'd have a 2-day break, and then you'd eat once, and then you'd have 1 day off. And I think like, with the kind of the pathways that human beings have created through survival to keep you alive for longer periods of time, once you go into a non-eating state, your body essentially turns on like fight-to-flight mechanisms, which are designed to keep you healthy, keep you strong, keep you alive. And then if you put yourself into that state multiple times a week or every day like I do, you're just putting yourself into a state of your body's cleaning, fixing, and getting better. And I think that's just the key to longevity. Really is just to have a moderate intake of food once a day, and then have lots of supplements, your minerals, etc., all that kind of jazz. And then, the goal is to hit 100 at least. I want to live to 100. It'd be a long life, but, I think there's a lot to fucking see. Hopefully, if things can stay relatively stable, but it would just be one of those things where it's like watching a film, you're just in it for the long run. You can watch from the beginning to the end. I want to see what plays out in this world, I want to see what happens, and I want to see, obviously, in terms of a bit more, in terms of spiritually, it would be nice to try and make an impact in some way. Obviously, I think I have, to a degree, made an impact in my short period of 30 years, where I've introduced people to trading, I've introduced people to financial freedom, I've got people into crypto. Probably millions of people have probably seen me over the years talking about financial markets, trading, crypto. So that's one impact. And then charity I give to as well. In terms of 1% of all my company revenue went to a charity in Syria for a bit. Raised money for charity too. So hopefully, in that journey, you can have an impact as well. Whether it's getting someone from being to a profitable trader, or giving them some money to build a fucking school. They actually built a school with the money I gave them. So they built a school in Syria for kids. So there's literally a school which was built by the money I gave them, which is fucking cool. And they invited me to go there loads and loads of times. I haven't been there. They even asked me, do they want to call it MDX? And then they were like, do you want to do go there and teach the kids how to trade? I was like, yeah, I'm up for it. But right now, just not going to hit up Syria for a bit. I'm just going to try and grind. Max, what's your thoughts on a potential black swan event? Many catalysts right now. And do you have a trading plan if one happens, say between now and early next year? Yeah, so with black swan events, historically speaking, they are obviously difficult to predict, because if everyone knew it was going to happen, the crash would happen. So they are always going to be essentially a moment of panic, because just inherently by nature it has to be a panic, because that's why it becomes an event itself. But the only thing you could do to prepare for a black swan event in trading is have a stop loss. That is your insurance policy against the black swan event, because with a stop loss, you mitigate the potential chance of losses over what you predetermine. So if you're trading and you have a stop loss, that is your insurance policy against the black swan, because then you're out automatically in a lot of cases. In terms of financial, or let's just say in terms of financial literacy, what's a hedge or something? Like I'd say gold. I own gold. I have Bitcoin as well, which I think would probably bode well in some cases. Diversification is obviously key as well. So have some stuff in different things. Maybe own some fine wine, some Bitcoin, some silver, some gold, some whatever. And then also situating yourself in a location on the planet that is probably less likely to be badly affected by a black swan event. So in my opinion, I think living in a jurisdiction that isn't, say, hasn't had financial tyranny, or have massive government oversight of what you're doing financially is a good thing to do. That's why I live in Dubai. That would probably help. You know, if there was a big financial crisis in the UK or America, what might happen is, or any country at that, to be honest, with big financial regulations, I think there could be a synergy where, you know, that government could go inadvertently or by mistake, they wouldn't try and do it, but they'd by mistake go tyrannical and then seize people's assets. We've seen that happen in Cyprus, in tax havens, seen that in countries like America with Nixon coming off the gold standard. That's trying to seize people's gold. So nations which have a big government intervention within finance, it's quite likely if you live in the UK or America and then the Great British Pound fails, the government is quite likely going to do something to the people which will essentially be against the will of the people, which might be seizing assets or freezing banks or saying you can't withdraw this, and then you're financially stuck because you're in a jurisdiction that you can't control the outcome of what the government do. So that could be a problem. Somewhere like Dubai, you're probably better off. Maybe Panama, maybe Singapore, maybe Malta, whatever. There are other places you can look at which will defend your financial freedom, maybe not defend social freedoms as well. So you have to be careful with that. But yeah, it's kind of, yeah, that's why I live in Dubai, you know, because of those reasons in terms of like what will happen in terms of tyrannical government stuff. And then financially own a basket of assets which relatively will work well in a bad environment, which would be gold, silver, Bitcoin, maybe land, real estate, things that can generate utility in terms of you can generate your own energy, or you can create your own food or whatever, or create, because a lot of people in England are all umming and ahhing and getting upset about the cost of living crisis because everything's so expensive because of inflation. But then I go, well, why don't you grow your own food? You know, growing your own food is free. So instead of going to a supermarket or a shop, why don't you start growing your own food? But the problem about in England, in some places, you're not allowed to grow your own food. You're not even allowed to have a fire. You're not even allowed to have an open wood fire in London anymore. So like if you really wanted to go and say, I want to be living in a more traditional sense, in a more cheap sense, you technically couldn't even do it in England because you'd have to have a gas lit thing, which costs money, and you can't make your own food or cook it or prepare it. So like there's a lot of countries where you're completely stuck. You have to go to the supermarket to buy your food because you can't grow it and you can't cook it because you can't even do the things you're like, historically speaking, you're supposed to do. So, you know, if you're feeling the pinch financially, the number one thing you can do is reduce the cost of what it takes to keep you healthy. So that would be essentially grow your own green beans or fucking have a chicken or whatever, or like have your own eggs. And then you have a much cheaper version of sustaining your own fucking hunger. But yeah, it's kind of like that. Dubai is not a great place to grow your own food, I'll tell you that. Whoops. Well, the desert, or living in the Burj Khalifa, have my little plant pot in the corner. How can you grow now, please? I'll put some Himalayan rock salt in your water. Whoops. Dead. Yeah. There are a lot of things, man, to think about. Don't know if that probably answers your question. I've kind of covered everything. But that's really the only way you can do it. Yeah. Also, diversify where your assets are held in with third-party custodians, because not everybody can own their own Bitcoin in their own ledger. Not everybody can have their own gold in a safe. Not everybody can have their own silver stashed under the bed. Not everybody can put cash under the fucking fireplace. The fireplace wouldn't be a good place for the cash, actually. Let's make that point. Don't put your cash under the fireplace. That's not going to work. I would keep very far away small pieces of paper, very thin, fragile, small pieces of paper. Don't keep them under the fire. If you wanted to play reverse psychology, maybe you would build a safe under the fireplace so they'd be like, they'll never put their money there. And then actually you have. But yeah, you're taking a little bit of liability. Might be a little bit liable if that does go down. Shit, I forgot to order another bottle of water. But yeah, that's one thing. But yeah. Let's probably wrap this up, legends, I think, in a minute. It's been going for a while. Almost 10 o'clock. I'll do a few more minutes. We are getting a nice bounce off the devil level here. So that's a good trade in terms of, it's trying to hold it up. If you zip out a little bit, it's trying. We have higher lows coming up this. If we get above here, it could look for some higher prices on Bitcoin, actually. And what you're looking for is if you can break above these wicks, clean up a little bit. You can break above these wicks up in here, into that, back down again. You could look for some higher prices on Bitcoin. The devil level looks like it's holding up at this point. Let's go on the 5 minute as well. Have a look what's going on DevLev. Yeah, decent. The volume pocket got popped off on. Is it legal to have sex outside marriage in Dubai? So yes and no. I think if you are a citizen of Dubai under a Muslim religion, I think actually no. But I think Dubai's changed that law to say it's okay for people who are residents, so who aren't within the bracket of citizenship or in the bracket of not in the Muslim religion. So I'd say the thing is, well, like Abu Dhabi, yes. I think Oman, yes. Ras Al Khaimah, yes. I think that is the case. But in Dubai, it's much more. Dubai is like the playground for the Westerners with tax haven status. But it's there are some things you can't, like, public display of affections. It's very much frowned upon. I don't know if it's actually like legally bounding for jail anymore. I need to ask Coppin, my guy who tells me everything about it. But I think there are more warning systems now. So like even stuff like CBD oils or something, I've heard very bad things about that, or weed, for instance, or drugs. Like there isn't like a one strike, you go to jail for 20 years anymore. There are like one strike and then a warning and stuff like that. And that's by going from what my data is coming into me. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure there is now a system of warnings for specifically residents who are not under the Muslim religion. So I think that's what it is. There have been some cases of people who've had that happen to them and then they haven't gone to jail for it. But again, this country it's a dictatorship. It's not a democracy. So you stick by the rules that the dictatorship provide. In the same way, if you go to Thorpe Park, or you go to Disneyland, Florida, or you go to Six Flags, they have defined rules in the theme park and you stick to them. And if you break the rules in the theme park, you leave. It's a very similar thing to Dubai. They have the rules. You come here, they tell you everything what it is. You get financial freedom. There's no tax, no VAT. You have a lot of financial freedoms, but you don't break the rules that they set. And that's fucking fair play, isn't it? Because you're getting a lot of benefits. The issue is about the Western societies is that they have a lot of rules now, but there isn't a lot of benefits because you have to pay tax. You have to. There's no opt-out button. You can't say, you know what, I don't really want any of the government services. I don't want the government schools. I don't want the government healthcare. I don't even want to use the fucking government roads. I'll get my own helicopter, fly about my own heli. And all the tax I would have saved over my life, I could probably afford one as well. So the issue is that you can't opt out of the tax system in England and America, which is tyrannical in itself. That's called communism. It's communalism. So I'm not saying that England and America are full communists, because they're not, but there are a very high percentage of things that are. What's the percentage? How many things are public? How many things are owned by the community? How many people are forced to share? I would say that the pendulum is probably around 60-40 at this point in England and America. In the West in general. In Germany, in places, it could get even worse. So I would say that the communalism or the community aspect of those nations in terms of getting towards full communism is getting closer and closer and closer. So I'd say that the benefits don't outweigh the negatives of that society, because you don't get the benefit from the schools. If the schools are amazing and the roads are amazing and the healthcare was amazing and the society was safe, maybe I would be happy to pay 30% for that. Maybe 40%, maybe even half my money. Maybe I'll give half my money for all of those impeccable things, because I'll probably spend half my money on those things anyway. If I'm in Dubai, I've got to build my own road to go to fucking work, and I've got to have my own healthcare, my own school, and I've got to go and send it to an expensive school, and I have to have a private security team, then maybe that's half my money. You just got to deli up what's going on in terms of your own life. But right now, the negatives do not outweigh the positives. I analyze it, the negatives do not outweigh the positives. I'd much rather live in a jurisdiction where I have to pay my way with less government intervention, with less government safety nets and retain the zero tax status, because my name is Max, I don't pay tax. So I would rather have that. But if England turned around and said, look, we are more than happy to allow you to opt into public services, and you can use these things at your own discretion through voluntary exchange. So if you want to use this school, then you pay. Or you want to use this hospital, then you pay the tax for it. And you say, at the beginning of every year, you tick a box. You say, I will pay the tax for the healthcare system. I will pay the tax for the schools. I will not pay the tax for safety, the police, the ambulance, whatever. And then you can just, at the beginning of every year, you can decide what you will pay for, because then what you will use. And if you don't use, say you need to use something in the economy that you didn't pay tax for, you then pay the bill of what it would cost to have it. Simple as that. And if you can't pay it, and then you need an ambulance, and you didn't put on the thing, I want ambulances, and you didn't do it, they'll still save your life. But you would have to just go into debt or pay it back later, similar to going on a private system. So, or there could be a philanthropy movement, because if there was no big tax in England, a lot of companies would move back to England. And if companies want people to, if England want companies to be in England, maybe all those companies would come together and say, maybe we'll all fund something for the people. The companies will do that. Because then more people live in the country, and then they can get more good employees, and they can get better fucking talent and better fucking people working, get capital inflow in terms of not just money, but human capital inflow. So you have a whole different synergy. But the problem is you have to pay tax. You have to. It's like, it's illegal not to. It's ridiculous. Like, you could do a whole year as a 25-year-old, not use any public services whatsoever, and they force you, by taking the money before it hits your bank through a payslip for a P45, they'll take the money from you before and say, well, you live here, so just in case. It's like, no. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And also, if you had a system which was denominated on choice and voluntary exchange of paying the tax, then actually the services would probably get a little bit better, because the people who work at the services will try and make sure it's good, so the people pay the tax to use it, so they get a fucking job. They're still in jobs. But the market has to be determined by the freedom of people making a choice. If there's no freedom to make a choice, then there is no open market. You can't have a market which doesn't denominate around the choice and the price of what people are prepared to pay. If there's no pricing mechanism and there's no choice, there is no open market. So there is no open market in England. It is communism. And obviously communism means the government own the thing and you have to pay the thing. So it is a communist movement. And that's it. Like, there's no way of saying, but no, it's actually this, it's that. It's just bracketed terms of socialism, in terms of generally socialism, but it's communalism. It's not fascism. Fascism is telling someone you can't speak, and then you silence them if they speak against you. And also, actually, fascism is slightly different. Fascism is a combination of enterprise and government. Communism is full government ownership. And that's what England is. It's full government ownership. It's like the school is owned by the government. It's not a private entity in any way. So you can't have it like that. It's not going to work long term. It could work for a bit, and it worked after the war, and it helped out with the NHS and all that kind of stuff, but it can't work long term, because there's mixed signals in the economy. You're creating a synergy where the free market can't decide on what's right, so there will be problems, and there will be mistakes made by a centralized authority called the government, and they're never going to get it right forever. You might have the best guy in the world you might have the best politician, the best dude at the top. He's just going to eventually lose his term or die someday. And then you got another dude who might not be good, and then he'll fuck it all up. The smaller amount of decisions you are away from the top. So if there's like 5 decisions away from making it, the lower amount of decisions that need to be made by human beings, the closer you are to a disaster. A free market, you have millions of people indirectly, voluntary buying or selling when they want to. So the percent chance of a mistake happening on a grand scale in a free market is very low, because the market will be intelligent. There'll be a percentage of the market which get it wrong and buy Google glasses when they're shit, but then there'll be another percentage which you're essentially making the market have its own scrutiny, which means that people have to be intelligent and they become clever consumers. We don't have clever consumers anymore. We have people who are like, I'll just drink myself silly and then the ambulance will pick me up. Because it's free, even though it's not, because you pay NHS and you pay the fucking national insurance on it. So it's stupid. But the only way to go about it really for England is just a big shift in the mentality of what the nation stands for. And it needs to go back to a much more open, free market where people have the choice to make decisions on the basis of what they want, not on the basis of what the community wants through the government, because that's just going to end up with a lot of manipulation, corruption, cronyism, just everything. Like, maybe, yeah, you never know with these people. Yeah, capitalism is people look at capitalism as a dirty thing, but it's not. It's a much better system. It's a much more free system than a socialist system. Capitalism has its problems. Don't get me wrong, because if you have the ability to manipulate the government to make it more difficult for competition to arise, then you can create a monopoly, and the government can get in the way in capitalism of creating monopolies. But if you have a full, true, free market, it's very difficult for a monopoly to arise in a full, free capitalistic market. I'm talking full free. I'm talking no patents, no copyright, no minimum wage, no rights on either side in terms of employer rights or employer rights or company rights. So I'm saying if you actually have it in a system where it's completely free and open for any individual, any company to do what they want, and it's down to any discretionary moment. So like the company can sack someone if they want, the company can close down if they want, the company can pay their employees whatever amount of money they want, and a competitor could create the same product of another company if they made it, and anyone who creates any content, someone else can copy it. Okay, just imagine that. Okay, imagine that situation. You would have the most unbelievable explosion in small business, okay? Because the barrier to entry to small business would go to zero. Because if it's a complete free market, everyone can choose whether they take something below minimum wage. You don't have to take the job. It's not like you need a minimum wage for wages to be high. No, you don't need a minimum wage for the wages to be high. If there was an abundance of new companies created and the amount of the population didn't change, you will have a bidding war for employers. So if everyone wants to create a company tomorrow, people will have to pay them more to get them because it will be a bidding war between more companies. It's supply and demand. So if you create a system which has zero barrier to entry to create a business, which is called free market capitalism, you have a much more affluent market because you have more companies and more jobs and more people. And then you have higher wages as a result of that if the companies outstrip the population growth, which in a lot of cases is definitely what will happen. And also you got to remember as well, the issue with having a minimum wage and having all these big regulations is that you just create the barrier to entry. You just make it so it's so difficult with a big bureaucratic regulating system for there to be an open free market, because then companies can come along and they can manipulate the government to make it more difficult for companies to make, because then they make more money. So essentially you centralize the point of riches in small hands of many small people. So, it's if we hold the devil level, we're going up. Yeah, someone's saying here, yeah, but there shouldn't be a predetermined interest rate. Like, if you really think about what an interest rate is, and we're going down the rabbit hole a little bit here, but an interest rate should be determined by the amount of money some entity is prepared to give to you in an APY from the amount that they charge the customers an APR. So the interest rate should always be determined by the market in terms of how much interest can I get on the money I give you. So if the APR of the market is 5%, then what I can do is I can offer people an APY on the other side at 4%. So APY is like, I'll give you 4%, I can loan it out for 5. 4% loan out for 5, 6% loan out for 7. And it should just be the market in general which just determines what the interest rate is. And then you have multiple bureaus or multiple companies or multiple banks in this case, and they're all competing with each other to give the best rate. You have it in crypto. You have interest rates on Bitcoin, okay? It's not determined by a central bank. It's not determined by the central bank of Bitcoin, the interest rate of Bitcoin. The market is literally always moving. It's an equilibrium between what you can borrow and what you can fucking lend. And you can go to these products and you can say, they're offering 6, they're offering 7, they're offering 1, they're offering 8, they're offering this, they got better security. And in that equilibrium of arbitrage between all of the interest rate providers, you get the ultimate interest rate of what the market can provide to you. So the problem is about the Fed is that what they're doing is they are essentially a communist entity, even though they're not part of the government. It's actually almost fascist because they're actually a synergy between private enterprise and government. And that's what fascism really means. It's a synergy between private enterprise and government. Communism is just government. And then you have obviously elitism, and you go down all these other fucking goddamn, Marxism, etc. All these different things. I have a whole list of them. But you got to remember, like, that's how it should be determined. But the thing is, with an interest rate determined by the Bank of England or the Federal Reserve, it's just that is a communist thing in itself. But it's not, because it's not government. They actually branded it. They tried to make it not. They tried to make it, oh, but it's private. It's a private entity determining it. Okay, then what is it? Like, what are we going down then? That's like fucking saying that it's basically going down like totalitarianism or fucking dictatorship. It's even worse than that. So the Fed is literally just like this entity that has the potential to manipulate the whole market interest with no open market participation or anyone to think about, actually, I don't want to take this percentage. I don't want that. I don't want this. You literally have the most ridiculous thing ever. It's so ridiculous that one entity could control the interest of all fiat in that nation. You're just going to cause absolute mayhem. And that's what they do. They do cause absolute mayhem. Things going, bubbles here, bubbles there, printing this, printing that. It's a complete shit show. You really think an animal, a monkey, can determine, oh, I know exactly what the interest rate should be for everybody because I know what everybody likes and I know what everybody wants and I know what everybody wants to take for their fucking yield in their loan. It's like, how the fuck do you know? Like, how do you know what the market wants? They don't. It's all about power, control, and manipulation, and also that will bode well for America. Like with the Federal Reserve, guess what? Americans have a better standard of living in general. You might get the negatives and positives on either side, but generally speaking, the Federal Reserve is a tool, a weapon to create more prosperity for the United States of America through control, by making it more difficult via sanctions and interest. Because they got to remember, like, they have a gold reserve as well, so they're essentially just hedging with buying gold with the dollars they create, and then the interest rate will basically mean that the gold price will rise or fall through inflation. It's just simple as that. Yeah, but the problem with just letting companies do what they want and totally free market is that you need everyone to stay honest. No, you don't. You don't need everyone to stay honest, because if you're not honest in a free market, you go bust, because the vote is the money you give them. If you go to a shopping center and you have 15 restaurants to choose from and you try all of the restaurants, and one restaurant has really bad quality food and it seems like a little bit of a scam, and another restaurant has really good quality food and you feel that you got a good deal, you inadvertently start going to the restaurant that gave you a good meal. And then the one that doesn't give you a good meal, whether it's them being, in this example, you're saying someone's being not honest. Maybe they're not being honest. Maybe the food isn't fresh when they say it's fresh. Okay, they're not being honest. Then that restaurant goes out of business. So you don't need a government to regulate the market. The market will regulate itself due to the fact that people aren't stupid. The consumer can make a decision. And if your decision is, I'll go to that restaurant instead of this, then fine. That one goes bust, and then they cease to exist, meaning that to stay in business, you need to be good. There has to be a scrutiny factor to being bad. The scrutiny factor to being bad shouldn't be the government closing you down. It should be you run out of money because no one wants to use you. Then you have an open market of intelligent consumers, which then you can go on a website and you have all the list of all the reviews and go, oh, okay, yeah, actually, I'm not going to go to that restaurant because this guy said it's shit. Even faster out of business, because the consumer becomes the market, the maker of the market. The consumer determines the market, because the consumer is the one who has the power to influence whether they have money or not. So capitalism is about if you have money or not. The more money you have, the more influence you have, because the more things you can buy. And if you create good food, you get more money, so you can create more good food. If you don't create good food and you're dishonest and you have bad reviews, you don't have money to create good food or anything. So it forces you to be good in a free market, because a free market is like dog eat dog. A free market is like, if you don't do it, you don't get, and you need to lose. Because the problem is, if you have a system where the government's there to protect the consumer, they're not always going to get it right. And also, they're going to be bribed through lobbying. So a company's going to say, we're being a little bit dishonest here. We're actually doing a little bit of bad stuff. Take this money, Mr. Government official, and if you can just keep us in business and just put out onto the news that we're good actually and we're not bad, and also can you do this? If you could just put some regulation in, so, you know, the minimum wage for someone who works in a counter or the minimum wage of someone who works in my shop is $15, not $10, then all the other restaurants can't start because it's too difficult for them to get into the market because they have to pay all their employees $15, not $10. Because the difference between having to pay your employee $15 and then not having to pay them $10 is probably billions of companies. Maybe even over the world, billions of companies over the years. It should be, we're making really good food. Here's what we provide. We will pay our employees a high amount of money because they do a good job through meritocracy. And if we lower our wages, our employees will leave and go to the restaurant next door because there's so many restaurants. They want to make the money. They want to make the money. If we start putting low and low and lower and lower fucking goddamn wages to our employees, the standard will go down. And also, they'll leave because there's lots of abundance of competition. You have competition in the market. So it's like what the free market principle society does. It has a checking and balances on bad shit. You don't need the government to regulate anything. The market will regulate itself. And the longer this goes on for, the wiser the consumer gets because they are exposed to more scams or they're exposed to more dishonest things. So they inadvertently become better at doing it themselves. Then they pass that down to their children. Then their children pass that down to their children. And then the market becomes the real winner. The people of the market determine what they see in the market because they vote with their dollar or their pound or their gold or their Bitcoin. And the voting system is not vote in Donald Trump to do this. It's I will vote for what I think is good, and the thing that I think is good will get better, like the nice restaurant on the corner, which I like and I don't like that one. So inadvertently, the best thing of every industry becomes the biggest. And then the funny thing is as well, is that if you have a free market capitalist society and a company gets too big, then they can't innovate as fast. And if there's no patent or copyright or system to make them have a monopoly by saying you can't make our product now because we did it first, if that doesn't come along, then you have another 5 companies which start very easily, and then it gets too big, too slow. Human capital, financial capital moves. The money flows to the next big company. Innovation. You have competition innovating each other, and then innovation spurs on more development, GDP, and more people become wealthy. So it's just like the argument for saying that we need to have some sort of like system of like we need to check companies because, you know, they might be dishonest. Yes, everyone's dishonest. Everyone's been dishonest. Everyone's lied. Everyone's been dishonest. And everybody's done it. And every single aspect of every human being's done it. You are not motherfucking Teresa. I'm just saying that if you do it and you do it for a long period of time, it's not like you're not going to lose eventually with a free market because people won't buy your shit. And the only way that you can make more of your shit is with money. So it doesn't make any sense in terms of how I see it. Of course, yeah, there should be no interest rates from central banks, of course. There shouldn't be an interest rate from central banks. The market should determine the interest rate, which happened for thousands and thousands of years before we had the creation of the Federal Reserve. And that was due to Great Depression and then obviously using it after the war. Well, that was actually before. And then it was used and changed during the war because then we needed to print to then win the war, essentially. Well, the Bank of England did, and we gave all the gold to America and et cetera, et cetera. My door is ringing. 1 second. My food has arrived, I think. My food's arrived. My food is here, so I might eat now. I've been blasting off about fucking free market capitalism again. Yeah. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true, dude. This guy here said, I think I see things differently because I work with small businesses and I see the opposite of what you're claiming all the time, and they are successful because people don't care. People don't care because of the price. No. The market right now, like you're living in America or England, is not a free market. Okay, so there's huge incentives for companies to lobby governments to make it more difficult for companies for competition to arise, so you don't see an affluent market of competition. People don't just care about price. People don't just do the cheapest thing. People don't just do the thing that they don't. It's not. You're saying that people don't care about quality of service. It's not true. They just don't have the access to alternatives because the market is saturated by big companies making it very difficult for anything to come against them. That's why everything's Walmart, everything's Tesco, everything's one or two big companies. There is no alternative, and a company can't compete. They can't compete with the price because they can't get in at the level because there's so much regulation to get in the first place. I'm saying if you eradicate all the barriers to entry to create a business and you can determine anything you want within the business that you create, you will see the prices beginning to go up depending on the quality of the product. It's not, the price doesn't mean anything. The price is just the barter between what you're prepared to give for what what you actually end up buying, the quality of the product. Like, you know, if you go into a Lamborghini and someone wants to buy a Lamborghini car, they don't go, actually, I'm going to buy a Toyota because it's cheaper. No, they know that the fast car is really, really expensive. They're buying it because they don't care about the price. It's because of the quality of the car. You don't get a guy walking into Toyota and then saying, actually, it's not as fast, this car, than a Lamborghini. I'm going to go and buy the $100,000 Lamborghini. There's two completely different sets of what people look for. The price is only the barter between the quality and what you're prepared to give. In a voluntary environment, there is a lot of times you'll say, no, I won't pay that price, or yes, I will pay that price, or it's too cheap and I'll get this product because if it's that cheap, how can it be that good? Like if you go to fucking Primark and you go to a cheap shop and you buy cheap clothes, you know what you're going to get. If you're buying a t-shirt for $10, it's impossible for it to be good. It's impossible because it's so cheap. So you know it's cheap. If you go to Gucci, it's a different story because you're buying brand. But if you go to a company that is specifically trying to give you a tailored suit, which fits your body and makes you, the utility of the suit is higher and it has a higher purpose value and nicer quality materials, you're not going to say, sorry, mate, I'm not going to buy the suit, I'm going to get the $10 shirt. No, you need the suit. The suit is a status thing in itself. So you say small businesses. I own a small business. I know thousands of people who own small businesses. Not thousands, actually. I know hundreds of people who own small businesses, right? And the problem is usually not the price. The problem is usually that it's too difficult for them to create a product for a good... It's not usually the price which doesn't make them sell the product. It's usually that they can't make the product at a level which they can actually compete with, say, someone else who's got a monopoly on the market who can just churn out the same thing for a lower cost because they can just do volume and quantity. So if you're selling... Like if you're trying to go against, you know, a massive drinks company, you know, like, say, Coca-Cola... You can never, ever be able to offer the same quality for the same price. It have to be more expensive because you can't get the bulk load of the same thing or similar. So it's not to do with that. If there was an open market, you would see a lot more businesses be able to charge higher prices for higher quality because people don't always just go for the lowest cost thing. They don't. It's not true. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like I didn't buy my Apple Mac laptop because it was cheap. I bought it because I like the fucking product. And I know it's more expensive than the Windows I can get. I could get a way better... I could think about this in the market dynamic. I could actually buy a better computer than my Mac in terms of the level statistics of what it does. But I bought it because I like the quality of the product. And I like what they do inside the product. But I could go to the market and buy a Windows, which is 5 times faster, for half the price. Why didn't... If nothing orientates around price... Apple wouldn't have a business model. And guess what? Apple have the biggest business right now pretty much in the world. It's more expensive. It's higher quality. People buy it. It's not all about price, I promise you. Like, price is just a tradable mechanism for you to take. It's a trade. You're trading. You're like, is the price relative to the quality? And yes, you're going to have extremes on one side where people charge way too much and where people charge way too little. But I'm saying in the middle bulk of the world, everyone's doing a trade between the quality and the price. And like everyone thinks about that. Yeah. Well, mum and pop on the corner have a lot of problems because they have a lot of regulation. They have a lot of minimum costs they have to spend, a lot of taxes, a lot of licensing, a lot of tax on the things they sell. Mostly is probably to do with the workforce. And then the cost to buy the thing which gets rid of the workforce actually creates more issues because you have to have computation people, and you have to have guys doing day like if you AI your whole shop and make it all completely automated like Sainsbury's did, and then they had a big problem because they didn't have the people to actually run the systems and all this kind of stuff. So like, what you need is more and more people to be able to start. And if more and more people could be able to start, that means that the person who's looking for a job wins, because then there's more companies bidding on the same amount of people to get the work. Yes, that makes the company itself have more competition, but in the journey of competition, you're going to then end up with a better product because people have to work harder to keep the revenue coming in. So it's just a synergy between, if you've got more and more, if you have more potential chance of companies to be created, yes, there might be more dog eat dog within the company structure, but then you have more people who can get employed, and in more employees means that there's more money circulating in itself. So if you have more companies, more people employed, that means that people make more money in the market, inadvertently spending more money in the companies. So it might get more competitive, but it doesn't necessarily mean you make less money, because there's more money circulating around the... My door's gone again. There's more money circulating in the surface of spendable cash. Also, you have to remember as well, if there's less tax, it means less goes to a dead entity, and then more can be circulated into business. Because you've got to remember, like, if you have more companies, more employment means more money, which means, because you could go to Australia, they have no customers. They have no customers when they make loads of money. How does that work? Because in England, there's way more customers, but no one makes any money. It's because it's very difficult to get into business in England with lots of regulation, and the consumer don't have that much cash. In Australia, no one has any customers, but the prices are high. So they make the money back. They don't need the customers. They just get the money coming back from the high employment and the high cost. But everyone's making, in the whole economy, more money circulating, more money into the business, more money goes to the manager, more money goes to the founder. The founder then spends more money on the bigger car, and then all the money just goes back in a big fucking circle. Anyway, we've really gone down the rabbit hole here. I gotta go eat, bro. Guys, you're all legends. I'll speak soon. I'm gonna eat, and that was a great stream. We'll see what Bitcoin does. We're below the dev level now, all right? So here we literally go. You're legends. Speak soon.